Are you listening?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Running Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, and I am joined by my brother, Spedrock. What is going on, Spedrock?
Yo, first off, I got my hair cut.
Oh, nice, nice. I also got my hair cut.
Yeah, you should.
I guess you call it that. Good. I did it myself.
You did it. Yeah,
it's hot.
It's hot. Yeah, it has to be hot.
I'm in Alabama in July. It's hot as hell.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it gotta be
cut
hot.
On it all.
Yeah, you were like, screw that. Yeah, done with this.
Pretty much.
How's everybody doing today, though? We got some glitch up in here. Yeah, skill issue right here. Actually, really freaking good.
Yes, which I've already finished. If you can't tell, I've got my glitch cup there. My glitch cup is already empty because I drank it all so fast because it was so good. So it is empty. I am full of skill issue. Actually, technically, I'm full of loopy fruits because that's the flavor I had tonight was loopy fruits.
That had milk, right? That's the milk one.
No,
right?
It didn't have milk. No, it just tastes like Fruit Loops. That's it.
On the thing it says put milk in there. That's what I was
you
wondering.
can. I just did it with water.
Oh well, then I'm gonna have to do it.
I mean, you can try it with milk.
Hell yeah!
I don't read directions. I just put it with water.
Yeah, I saw it said put milk in there, and I was like, all right, yeah, we'll try it with milk. Tastes like Fruit Loops.
We will say hello to some of our friends. Lady Alpha, giggling like a 5-year-old already. What's going on, Lady Alpha? Welcome in. She was giggling an hour behind the scenes. You can catch every week at 7:30, 8:30 over on Spedrock's Twitch, SP3DROCK over on Twitch. You can catch us there 30 minutes early with behind the scenes. And you too could giggle like a 5-year-old like Lady Alpha. TC also laughing at the behind the scenes. What's up, Mr. U? Happy 3rd of July, tomorrow being the 4th of July. We will talk a little bit more about that in the final word. What's going on, Stampede? I think we're actually the opposite of ZZ Top with the beards and everything because we've both got less beard than we've had. So
I would love
appreciate the sharp dressed man comment.
Star Wars. I don't know, man. I can't get any more dressed than Star Wars.
Mine is Pong. You can't see it because it's a very old shirt, but it says Pong.
Like, the game Pong? Yeah, like.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly what it is.
I love it.
Gaming shirt.
All right.
No yeet, TC.
Yeah, no yeet.
This is actually one of my favorite shirts. It's like I said, it's very old. It's very worn, so you can't actually see the Pong anymore. Yeah. But that's how long I've had this shirt. I love it.
Nice.
I do too. I love that game. I had it on the Atari where you had like the little roll paddles. You didn't even have the joystick yet. It was just the roll paddle and you had to roll it back and forth. Yeah. My first video game was an Atari 3600.
That's what I just
even before Nintendo.
Oh my God.
I'm old, people.
He said he's old. My first one was
Isaiah. Appreciate you coming in.
Mine was just a Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES.
I had one of those.
Yeah. Nope.
The Commodore 64. That's the throwback.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. That is a major throw. You still have that? Because they're worth a lot of money. Nintendo was my first, yeah. I
think my dad still has my Nintendo. My dad still has a bunch of stuff from my childhood. I was a big Alf fan when I was a kid. Like, I had a watch that flipped up, and it was like Alf's head. You could flip it up to have the time. He still has that in a box somewhere in his attic.
He said, I had a 2600. Let's discuss age.
I mean, the 26 and the 36 they're only like 5 years apart. I think.
I was going to say about
4 they're not that far. Yeah, they're only about 4 or 5 years apart.
You know what? I used to go to the arcade and put the quarters in and be like, what up? Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
I did that. I remember I was in 3rd grade and one of the kids in my class had a birthday and they owned like a local skating rink, ice skating rink. And that's where they wanted to have their birthday. And I'm uncoordinated as shit. So I wasn't going ice skating. I think I spent $20 in the arcade while everybody else was ice skating. I sat there and I played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Spent $20 on that game until I beat it.
Good God. Oh, man.
I said I played it all night while everybody else was out there ice skating and all that kind. I was like, yeah, y'all can have that crap.
I've had a lot of the game systems. I now have.
Yeah, you got me beat on ColecoVision. I don't know nothing about that one. That's that one.
That's old.
I've owned one Xbox, but I've had every PlayStation so far, from PS1 to PS5. I had a Super Nintendo. I had a GameCube. I had a
GameCube,
Nintendo.
64. 64 was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Actually, love Legend of Zelda.
I had a Sega Genesis.
Legend
I actually have
Time is my favorite game.
I have the original Legend of Zelda, the gold cartridge.
Son of a bitch, man.
Because I've got a little. It's like a little console. I'll have to take it out and bring. I actually need to bring it in here so I can play it in here. But it plays Sega, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo games, like with the cartridges. You have to have the cartridges, which I love. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, what's going on, Shane? Appreciate you coming in.
That's what I'm talking about.
I remember that. Talking about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Double Dragon was one of my favorite. Contra is my favorite game of all time.
I miss playing.
It was awesome.
I miss playing X-Men on the Sega Genesis, because then you can get Nightcrawler and you can do so much crazy stuff. But no, I do got an Xbox. Got the latest Xbox now, and I got a PC. I've always been a PC guy. I like PC gaming stuff, and I want to build a PC where I could just put flight simulators on that bitch, and you'd be like, shh, thank you for flying air sped. Now I hope we don't die.
Hopefully that's the only time you ever fly.
I know, right? I just want to jump out of planes. I can't fly.
I mean, that doesn't mean you're old, because that's out today. Like you see commercials for all that stuff now.
Oh yeah.
The only computer game I've ever played is the Oregon Trail.
I sucked
at Doom. I played Doom when I was in high school.
Original Doom was stuff.
Doom was awesome.
I got my brother's DS right here. I play his DS. Yeah. Right now we got Mario in here.
We've went from a wrestling podcast to a gaming podcast, and I'm not mad at it. I like it.
I'm not mad at it at all.
But what is wrestling if nothing else but nostalgia? And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about nostalgia from our kids.
Yeah.
Oh, the Konami code. Gotta love it.
Used to cheat so much in PlayStation 1 days. God.
I love Frogger. I've played Asteroids a ton. Frogger was awesome.
Yeah, Frogger. Original Donkey Kong on the arcade was amazing.
Pitfall on the Atari that I mentioned. Pitfall was my favorite. I loved Pitfall.
Anybody remember
the Nintendo Kung Fu?
We got 10 minutes.
I don't give a shit. Dude, this is our we talk about everything. Yes, we're a wrestling podcast, but we just talk about life.
I know, and I love it. I know, I love it.
Same, Mr. U. I may or may not have missed a school bus playing video games too. Oh, Cubert is so great.
I know.
Joust was good.
I know. Tecmo Bowl. You would cheat your ass off if you played as what was it, Walter Payton?
No, Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, that's who it was. You would be cheating your ass off. What was the other one? It was a basketball one where you're in the corner. Corner three every time. Corner three every
NBA Jam? Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Every bloody time. It didn't matter who was shooting. Corner three. Yeah, Ken Baker time up. Corner three.
But now we play WWE 2K25.
Yeah.
I do remember Cubert jumping on those little squares, changing colors. I remember that a ton. Double dribble too. Yeah, double dribble was good.
NBA Jams was my stuff. Street. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're getting into some real games now. Next thing you know, someone's gonna be like, Need for Speed Underground, greatest Need for Speed out there.
Well, you just did. Somebody did do that. You did.
Yeah, that was.
So now nobody else has to do it.
Me, sorry. Who did that? That was me.
But welcome in. A really great conversation. I'm sorry, I had to stop for Big Mother Truckers. Not sure why I had to say it like that, but it felt right.
Yo, God. Yo, that game.
Look, we talk about the divide, and I'm going to bring this back around. We talk about the divide between AEW and WWE. Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat was the original WWE and AEW.
Yeah.
Because there used to be arguments in school. If you played Mortal Kombat or if you played Street Fighter, you did not like each other a lot of times.
At all.
Based on which video game you played.
You damn right about that.
So all you kids out here who think that the IWC was started with AEW and WWE, no, we were the IWC back before we even knew what wrestling was. And we were fighting over Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Yeah, because I remember I played a lot of Mortal Kombat in the arcades as a kid versus Street Fighter. You know, and I met a lot of friends that are Mortal Kombat friends versus Street Fighter too. But
what's going on, Randy? Appreciate you coming in. Enjoy your dinner.
What's that dinner?
What you eating?
What you eating? I want to eat it. Bring it to Sped's house. And we can talk about them dogs.
That's okay. We'll get into wrestling after that. So,
yeah. We're gonna go with someone off the wall here. All right, we're gonna go with someone off the wall. All right, Reptile. Yeah, off the wall. Reptile. I would have met some people up. I don't know why. It was always on it. Anytime I get this from what's that show? Robot Chicken. But anytime I hear finish him, I have to do something, right? Because it just gets me going, right?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Superman, Batman, Marvel, DC. I guess that does predate. I don't think it was as crazy as it was back, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all as it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely DC and Marvel is definitely one of those as well.
Yeah, but if you don't put Adam West in your top 3 Batman, all right, the original Adam West, you can't put
top 3. That's
top 3. He's better than Clooney, okay? Well, far better than we're getting way off the rails.
So are you counting animated?
No. I'm just talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I can agree with that then.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just talking about live action. Yeah.
Okay.
Way better than Clooney. Way better than Clooney. Who's thinking that?
Yeah, but that's a little harsh, but it's not wrong.
Anybody's better than Clooney.
I don't know. I don't know that I would say Val Kilmer was better than Clooney.
You're right.
Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. No disrespect to him, but his Batman was not better than Clooney.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, a lot of people did fight about that back then. There was a lot.
There you go. Stampede doesn't put him in top 3.
Ooh, he put Keaton number 2.
Pattinson's underrated. I thought he did really good in this movie.
I thought Pattinson did a great job as Batman. So thank you.
Yeah, he's underrated. Yeah, no, he did. He did
him
awesome.
In your top 3. That's crazy.
I could probably swap him and West out. Pattinson and West is number 3. I could probably go with that.
Yeah, I could do it like that. I could. Yeah. Pattinson. I became a fan of him with his Remember Me movie. That movie's a different. We could do Saturday or something as a movie thing for us, but good God, I'm telling you, man, I'm Batman. That's what he did. Yeah, you guys, was
Clooney better than Affleck?
That one's tough. Get back to tough. That one is tough.
That's a whole conversation for another day.
That one's yeah.
That's a debate that we could have on another show because that would take a whole show.
Yeah, that one's tough because
Lady Alpha's Batman than Affleck. There you go.
There you go.
I try to forget Clooney and Kilmer happened. That's fair. I know a lot of fans that do.
Oh, that was great. I love that one. Oh, that was great. That's like Dragon Ball fans trying to forget that, Dragon Ball GT happened and Dragon Ball Evolution happened. Yeah, I'm a Dragon Ball
fan. Yeah, I don't understand the words coming out of it anymore.
I love anime, okay? Love anime. I'm sorry.
I like some anime. I'm just not a Dragon Ball fan. That's all.
Yeah. No, it's all good in the hood. Look, now we got a whole Batman discussion going on before we even started. Look, before we even start this, every Saturday we're doing the run-in rewind now on Twitch, trying to get push for partner, right? And then we're going to go do it on Kick as well. And then we're trying to get it on Facebook and TikTok, just trying to push for partner, trying to funnel it into YouTube and Twitch, right? This right here is going to be perfect for like a little clip in between those, little, as like an ad break, in between that, boom, this clip right here of us talking about Batman. You know, next thing you know, next week, Batman versus Superman. Be here.
There you go.
And I'm not even a Superman fan.
So we'll bring it back in. Who would you name out of AEW and WWE? If you watch one, just give me one. If you watch both, give me both. Who would you name out of each company would be the best Batman? And we will get into the weekly shows, the weekend wrestling, as we talk about, as you guys give us your answers to that. Let us know who you think in WWE or AEW, if I can learn how to talk, would be Batman. But we did have a week in wrestling, pretty big week, man. I mean, there's been a pretty good amount of changes in wrestling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been fun.
What's going on, Dax?
Oh, now this glitch energy's catching up. Oh man, that's bad. Oh, now it's like, whoo, that burp right there that was coming up. Oh man, this glitch is coming. We're gonna finish it off.
All right, we will start off with the pay-per-view. Everybody start, or the PLE. I'm sorry, it's not AEW. That's coming up next week. Night of Champions. What'd you think of Night of Champions overall?
Yo, first off, I've already said it before. It's called Night of Champions. We had 2 championships defended on there. I call hacks, but I understand at the same time that there's reports out there saying, hey, there's certain people who are like, nah, I'm good. You know, there's tension going on over that way. I'm going to stay over here, you know? So I get it on that end, but overall, it was fantastic. The women shined in this, in my opinion, over the men. And I enjoyed those matches more than the men's matches. The King and Queen of the Ring specifically. But overall, I thought it was, I'll give it a 5.75 out of 10, you know, because it should have been top to bottom, you know, championship night, but it was only a, 2 out of 5, you know, championship
night. So in that sense, both the King and Queen of the Ring have championship implications.
Yeah, but
so they're connected to a champion. They're not champions themselves.
Yeah.
So I will give them a pass on those 2 just because those are the next contenders for those champions.
I get that.
So I will give you that. I'll at least give them that much. Now the Rhea Ripley and Karrion Kross matches, as much as I love those 2 and love them being on the show, Night of Champions maybe not so much. But I'm never going to argue with Rhea Ripley or Karrion Kross being on the show.
I was going to say they both they showed up and showed out for a makeshift match real quick. Right?
I love them being on the show, but I agree with you. Them being on Night of Champions just doesn't seem to fit because neither one of them are champions.
Exactly. Yeah. EW.
Let's see.
Darby. Wow. Oh,
Darby.
wow.
Aleister Black. That's not a bad one.
That's not a bad one. I like to see those 2 Batmans fight, though. Like, hold on. Is Darby Batman Beyond? Darby's got to be Batman Beyond. He'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, that's true.
He would be perfect for Batman Beyond. I missed the entire Batman discussion.
Well, luckily, you can always go back on YouTube and watch us after the show, Randy. But mainly, I know you're getting back into wrestling. Our question, as far as wrestling is concerned, is who do you think would be Batman in WWE or AEW?
Yo, you're not wrong about Karrion Kross being a hell of a Joker, though. That one.
See, I would put him more as like the original Riddler, not like the Jim Carrey version of Riddler.
But Jim Carrey's version of the Riddler was actually good. He did play.
It was good, but he wouldn't be as goofy like is like goofy and jokey. That's the only reason I say not that version of it. I like Jim Carrey. I like the way he portrayed the character.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Karrion Kross would bring a more sadistic style of Riddle to it.
Gotham.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotham. Boom. That one.
Yeah.
Love that.
He would actually be a perfect Riddler in the new Pattinson universe.
Oh, yes.
Since it's a more grounded universe for that character, he would actually be perfect for that role there.
That would be beautiful. Listen, DC, Warner Brothers, talk to us. Talk to Mike.
Well, Finn would be good too.
Ooh, I'm Batman.
Don't talk to me. And I don't think anybody can unsee this. I know I can't after I saw it about a month or 2 ago. Paul Heyman as the Penguin. I did not enjoy any of the Shoemaker Batman universe. There you go.
But yeah, no. 5.75 out of 10. Yeah. But Batman's more interesting to talk about right now over Night of Champions. All right. 100% fact.
I can agree with that. I gave it about a C plus, C, somewhere in the C range.
Yeah, see, I
could say that.
Yeah, or mine would have been an F. And great.
McIntyre and Wardlow. Oof. Wardlow seems to me would be a better like Bane, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wish I could do a Bane voice, but yes. MJF as Riddler would be dope too.
Yeah, could be.
Or Raja
Coming up on Night of Champions, we will go through match by match as we do every week. First up, you've got the King of the Ring final, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and of course, it's King Cody coming out. I thought this was a good match. I didn't think it was a great match. This will be a theme of my analysis for the entire show. The ending was very sudden and very abrupt. I didn't like how the match ended, but the match overall was good for me, which is why I would kind of give the whole show a C because it kind of highlighted the entire show for that same theme. But do you agree with Cody Rhodes winning, and what'd you think?
Listen, if this is putting him, and I saw a lot of heel work, which was cool from Cody, all right, and a lot of people who didn't follow Cody in the indie scene don't know the Cody heel work. If you didn't watch him in Impact TNA, when they were Impact, you really got to go back and watch because he was on.
If you don't know dark-haired Cody, you don't know Cody.
Yeah, you do. Listen. He single-handedly take down the Bull. No, well, hold on. What is it? Death Riders, right? With just the black hair himself. But yeah, I get it. Everybody wanted Orton to win. But the heel work that he did do, working with the exposed turnbuckle, it's just showing that hey. He's going to do what it needs to do to get to Cena and try to win that title back. I don't think he goes full on heel right now. I think he does it at SummerSlam. If he does,
I don't think he goes full on heel at SummerSlam either.
I say if he does go full on.
I don't think he does.
It would be there, but yeah, it was a predictable match. We all knew Cody was going to go in. I said Orton, I think, was going to win. I don't know. I just started throwing out picks. This one, like I said. It should have been Night of Champions, but I get what happened and everything, with the Middle East stuff and whatnot. I get that. But hey, Cody got a belt since coming back, and he's got a crown. All right, so you can't say WWE fumbled him. All right, dude's actually done pretty darn well for himself.
I'm so tired of hearing that phrase.
I am too. All right, listen, I am too. It's just dumb.
I agree. I agree. But no, I mean, again, the match was okay. And I don't think Cody will pull John Cena and probably not go full heel for a very long time in WWE.
Yeah.
Just because they want him to kind of take that mantle as the Make-A-Wish superhero kind of character that they can go and do. So I completely agree. I don't think that they will turn him heel anytime soon.
Yeah, that would
MJF
be nice.
is Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I guess I've just got the bigger imagery of Fisk in my mind. Mm-hmm. I know he's not like that in every iteration of the comic and stuff like that, but I'm just used to seeing like the bigger character.
Lance Archer as Hellboy. Well, seriously, that'd be nice.
Let's plan an episode where we do that. This is what the entire episode will be. In between next weekend, where we have All In, Great American Bash, Evolution, and then SummerSlam, we have like a little over a month. Let's plan one of those episodes where we that's all we talk about is which superheroes would be who in each.
That'd be cool.
In each one, and that'll be a great episode to put together where we can get a lot of stuff into it. Not that you guys still, please keep giving your opinions. They're awesome.
Keep doing it. I like.
As far as us, we'll try to plan an episode around it as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
We'll talk about that one here in a second, Dax. I don't know that I wanted Orton to win. I think the story fits Cody winning. I don't think Orton needs it. I do think it sucks for Randy that he's lost 2 of these in a row. But the fact that he's been in the finals twice in a row is also a pretty impressive things. So, I mean, I guess it's all on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Rhino. So we have Rhino and Riddler now. That's nice.
Oh, okay. I mean, that would work.
Next up, you have the one of the grudge matches we talked about that didn't have anything to do with championships until Monday night, I guess. Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley in what I thought was the match of the night. You mentioned the women killed it. I thought this was the best match overall from Night of Champions. I loved it. What'd you think?
There's only been maybe one other match that we could say Raquel Rodriguez has had that has been like holy crap since she came into the main roster, right?
No, this was her by far her best main roster match.
Yes, that's what I was getting. Yeah, best match by far since coming to the main roster. And listen, I want to see more of this with her, especially with Roxanne being her tag team partner. You know, she could do more of the lucha stuff. I get it. Her and Liv have been phenomenal as a tag team. I think Raquel and Roxanne will be amazing as a tag team. You know, even if they're just a makeshift now, they're going to get their stuff together. But, you know, like this match right here, this was a great match for Raquel. It showcased what she could do. It showcased what Mommy could do. And, you know, of course, the right woman won. I think it would have been the other way around if it was Liv versus Rhea, you know, so I think that would have happened. But yeah, I like this match. Like TC said, it was very entertaining.
Yep. And what's up, Herb and Raj podcast? We appreciate you coming in. Make sure you catch them guys every Tuesday night at 8:00. And saying hello to Mr. U. And now we've got that conversation. Herb is great, and Raj is Raj. So that lets you know that it's definitely the Herb of the Herb and Raj podcast giving the answers there. So what's going on, Herb? Appreciate you coming in, brother.
I don't know if you can say Perez is copy and paste. I mean,
I don't think it is because she's hinting at it, you know, kind of flirting with Dom, but she's more in the entire group. I agree. There's an aspect to it, but it's not like she's only focusing on Dom and then everybody else is around her. You know, Finn's the one bringing her in. You know, so it is a little bit different. So I won't say it's copy and paste, but it has hints of Rhea and Liv from, you know, a year ago. But again, and we talk about, you hear people talk about wrestling soulmates. I think that's a very good way of describing Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. They're best friends outside of this. Yep. They came up together. They know each other better than anybody else on the roster, probably, or anybody else that knows either one of them on the roster. So I think that's one of those situations where every time they get put together, it's going to be a really good match.
Yep.
Which is why I think it's, you know, Raquel's best match on the main roster, because I think this may be her second match with Rhea. The other one was a few years ago when they were still, you know, trying to get their feet wet in the main roster. So I think this one's better because Rhea, even more so than Raquel, is a lot more comfortable with who she is on the main roster now. And I think Raquel is too, for lack of a better term. So I think that has a ton to do with it. Just the fact that they know each other so well, and because they're so close outside of the ring, it makes everything they do in the ring 100% better.
I think getting hurt a few years ago for Raquel kind of like hurt her confidence, you know. But coming back from this last injury that she got, she's been a different female, a different lady in that ring, and I like what she's doing, you know. Hey, yeah, at first we were all like, oh man, this whole tough lady out, you know, bodyguard, she's terrible at it, blah, 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 blah. She's blossoming now, all right? We're seeing what she could be, you know.
She's getting better in the ring. She still needs to work on her promos, though.
A lot of people need to work on their promos, but, you know.
That's true. That's a good point.
It takes time, you know. I mean, shoot. I like Natalia in the ring. I like Natty in the ring, I should say.
There you go.
I like Natty.
I'm glad you corrected it before I had to.
Yeah. I like Natty in the ring, but I don't like her on the mic, you know?
There's Lady Alpha popping in on the YouTube chat. She's actually in our Twitch chat. If you want to go to Twitch, SP3DROCK over on Twitch, you can also catch the show there. So go say hey to Lady Alpha over on our Twitch channel.
Yeah, if you subscribe on Twitch, you get the RKO Hulk Hogan. So just subscribe.
Well,
RKO.
you don't get to do it. You get to watch him getting RKO'd. Like, you don't get to physically do it because that's a whole legal ramifications that we don't have the budget for just yet.
Not yet.
But we'll try.
You know those little dunk machines? We're going to get an RKO machine for Hulk Hogan. Right?
So here's the thing, though, Mr. U. Liv is kind of going face the same way Dom is, but it's happening more organically than the company just trying to push it. Yeah. People are just starting to cheer. We mentioned, and I'll mention when we talk about the match, about the Judgment Day as a whole getting cheered more now because people are just liking them more. It's not like they're doing anything different. They still cheated, but people are just cheering them more now, which are turning them more face, kind of the same way they did Dom when he won the IC title. Well, Dominic Mysterio still came out after that match and said, well, I'm the greatest IC champ of all time. He didn't change his demeanor at all. People just started cheering him because they saw and respected what they did. They drank some of Sped's Kool-Aid, who's in love with the guy, and they got a little bit of that effect, and now everybody loves it.
Are they even doing house shows anymore? Like, I haven't seen
very few. And how many have they had on the main roster, Stampede? I know they had 2 or 3 in NXT. But I can't remember in a long time. It's been at least a couple of years since I've seen them go at it.
It costs double, Dax, for you to get RKO'd. All right. For Hogan, it's $1. For you, it's $2.
There you go.
I'm playing.
Moving on to the next match. Was the other grudge match we talked about? Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn getting the win over in Saudi Arabia. I'll let you start on this one. What do you think of the match?
Kross just kept talking. The only reason why that they kept saying miracle win for Sami is because Kross would not stop taunting. Would not stop taunting Sami. We saw him hit with the what is he called, the pseudo chaos or whatever. What is that called? It was his finisher back in NXT. I can't think of his name right now. But Kross should have won this match. I agree with that, Isaiah. Kross should have won. I look, Sami don't lose anything by losing this match. All right? And if Sami lost, then it could go on to Saturday Night Main Event, or it could went to SummerSlam from there, But now, I see what they're doing on Monday Night Raw, but where does it really go? And I like Killer Kross. I miss Killer Kross. I miss him from his Lucha Underground days. I just like Kross. But this match, I liked it until there was just that one hula kick, and that was it. They should have Kross should have kicked out, in my opinion, and then got Hiluma kicked again if that was the case in 1, 2, 3. But I don't know. I gave it a 5.75. Out of 10.
That's fair.
It was an average PLE. It's what it feels like when they go to Saudi Arabia. It's average. We're just gonna get something that's supposed to be on CW.
So before I give what I thought of the match, we'll go to Mr. U's question. It says, with Killing Rocks, it feels like there are too many heels.
Not really. Not on Raw.
I don't know. I feel like it's. I'm trying to like roster it out in my head now to see. There are a good bit of heels. I can see that. I can see that thought. There are two. There are a good bit of heels on Raw. Too many, I don't know. I mean, I think it goes by pretty well. Stampede saying 2 of those matches were NXT, so 2 out of the 6. That makes a little bit of sense. I figured it was that many. And Dax, I'll answer this one just because I think that was one of the dumbest arguments I've ever seen the IWC have. There is no way somebody makes it this long in wrestling and doesn't know how to take a regular back bump. I could understand it if he's only been doing this like a year or so. The guy's been doing wrestling for 10 years probably, if not more. And in that match, I went back and counted. I counted at least 9 back bumps in that one match.
Yeah.
So that argument to me was one of the dumbest ones the IWC has had in a while, and that's saying something for the IWC. So, and does look like Cross is hopefully going to stay. We do have some news on one of those other ones that we've talked about a few times there, Stampede, that I'll bring up here in a little bit.
Yeah.
That was rumored to sign a contract today or in the past few days. So, yeah, I'm glad he's staying. I do too. So, and that this gets into my major gripe of the match, which is a lot of what Sped just mentioned. Is it seems like there was no plan coming out of it. The way that match finished was the end of the feud and not a very big ending of the feud, because as much as Cross has been coming after Sammy, you would think he would at least want 2 haluva kicks. You know, he's done it plenty of times with other people where he's haluva kicked somebody, stopped them from falling, put them back in the corner, ran back and did it again for a second time, and then pinned him. He didn't even give him that. You know, that would have at least been him having to overcome something, or if he'd have done anything heelish in some respect, it would have progressed that story where you saw the cracks kind of coming in Sammy, where he's thinking about turning heel, things like that. But none of that happened. It was just a standard haluva kick, pin 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Much like I mentioned in the first match, it's one of those where it was a good match, but the ending just killed all the momentum that the entire story had with that match. And so, yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at with it. We mentioned I don't think he's going to New Japan or TNA or anything, because I think he's staying at WWE. He's happy at WWE, even with what little bit he's getting. He's mentioned in a lot of interviews and stuff like that his focus doesn't have to be in the ring every week. He'd love to be doing that, but he's making an impact in other ways, and he's happy with that. So
yep.
And I get that, TC, but that's just not today's wrestling. Almost nobody hits a finisher once. Hell, it took Cody Rhodes multiple finishers to beat Jey Uso.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody hits one finisher anymore and it finishes the match. Not since Baron Corbin. The most protected finisher in the past 10 years.
End of days.
10 days.
Yeah, my God. That was a great
Stampede gave it 5.4, kind of the same thing you gave it.
Yeah, it was all right.
What's going on, Ariel? Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Stampede gave Raquel and Ripley a 7.18. Yeah, and that's kind of my whole thing is 90% of his moves, when he's throwing a suplex, he has to do a back bump every time.
Yeah.
So the Saito suplex that he throws multiple times in that match, he's got to hit a back bump there. He threw a German, which was a back bump. His first back bump was out onto the floor, by the way, when he got knocked out there. So, yeah, no, I was just to combat that, which we did a post show on Night of Champions right after the show, and I made that comment. I went back, and I counted at least 9. So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sometimes they just pull things out their rear end.
Oh wow! Now I look like Snitsky. Apparently, I got to grow the beard back. That's got to happen. And that is the one I was talking about, Stampede. Yes, AJ Styles has signed a new contract. It's a 1-year deal, but he's mentioned very famously that he doesn't want to wrestle past 50. He's already 48 now, so this may be his last deal where he retires with WWE after this. So.
Yeah, he wants to see his kids grow up and play. I get it.
No, I agree. Well, let's see. They call him Mr. U. TNA arrangement seems to be NXT. They haven't had anybody main roster go over there yet. I mean, I'm not saying it won't ever happen. If anybody does it, I would rather it be an AJ Styles just as like a Legends thing where he makes an appearance.
He's going to do it to face AJ Francis, the greatest AJ of TNA history.
The only real protected finisher is the one-winged angel. That's true. I guess we'll see how protected that is come Saturday. Next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after.
With 3 kickouts on that one. Watch. Okada. Boom. 1, 2, 2.99. Got out. And then he does it again. 2.97. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure the referee hit his hand on the mat on that one.
Next up, we do have a brand new U.S. champion. Solo Sikoa defeats Jacob Fatu with a little bit of help from his friends, family, whatever you want to call it, and is now the new U.S. champion. What'd you think of it? Is that the right decision?
I mean, yeah, you finally put the title on Solo, right? And this is going to work out. All right? Because now, once Solo and Jacob are done, you can put Jacob in the main event scene and keep Solo in the mid-card scene, and, all things are good. Unless you're bringing Solo's, this is his brother, I believe, Fatu.
Jacob's brother.
Yeah,
Jacob's brother.
Yeah. If you bring him over, the tag team division is going to be on lock because America's Most Wanted just became two of the America's Most Wanted. And these guys are going to run it. No joke. But I like this. Like Solo is building his own bloodline. He's got the guys that they didn't want, Tonga Loa and Tonga, right? And the GOAT turned that night a champion. And then you got the 7 foot tall Samoan. I didn't know they could get that tall. Okay. I always thought they were like 6'5" is the max. And this dude comes out and he's like 7 foot tall. Can he touch the rim? Do we have footage of this guy touching the rim?
Right. I'm going to say yes. I've never seen it, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Well, we need to get footage of that. All right. And then he just came over from Japan. Wasn't he a Bullet Club? I want to say he was part of the Bullet Club. All right.
I believe he was, yeah.
He was a 7 foot tall Bullet Club member coming in. And this dude is he just destroyed Jacob Fatu. So we're going to get Jacob Fatu for, what is his name now? I know it's Hideko.
It's Talatonga. It used to be Hikuleo.
Hikuleo, that's what it was.
In WWE, he will be known as Talatonga.
Talatonga.
Yep. Because he is the brother of Tamatonga and Tongaloa.
Somebody they only graduated high school, apparently. If they're coming up with names like that, holy crud!
It's no more confusing than Hikuleo.
Hikuleo, yeah. Well, I mean,
Hikuleo. I mean, it's no more confusing of a name than that. Just because it's a little different. So I've had a discussion with somebody the other day. They were like, "Oh, it's a stupid name." Hikuleo is a stupid name. Let's be honest. I get it. That's what you've known him as all this time. But Hikuleo, it's not like it. That's a huge name. Talatonga is not that bad of a name when you look at the other.
JC is a terrible name. Okay.
Yes, we can agree on that. JC Mateo is bad.
All right. They could have just called him Jeff Cobb. Damn it.
Okay.
That's what I'm laughing at. That's what I was laughing at.
Look, Dax is confusing us tonight.
I don't think they moved the title too soon. Bullet Club.
Yeah, he was in the Bullet Club.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, maybe him and Omos could be a tag team champions together. That'd be great. But no, I don't think. I think it was time to get the title off of Jacob, though. I really do.
I don't know that I would say it was too quickly. I understand the story though that it took 4 people to beat Jacob.
Yeah.
So it's not like he did it by himself. It's not like Solo went out there and won a standard one-on-one match. It took JC, it took Tongaloa, and it took Talatonga all to beat Jacob Fatu. So it doesn't disrespect him in any way, and it builds a future storyline because in my world, you have those 4: Solo, Tongaloa, Talatonga, and JC Mateo.
All that to be fed.
Now, Jacob Fatu's got to put together a team. Who better than the reuniting Usos? So you have Solo's 2 brothers, and then you also have 2 brothers on Solo's side and Talatonga and Tongaloa. You go get Tamatonga for Jacob's side. They were tight before Tamatonga got hurt. You can bring him in to have the same dynamic as the Usos. Or okay, maybe he's their cousin. He's saying that Haku is their father. So maybe they're not brothers. Maybe they're cousins. But either way, they called him their brother on TV, so that's the way they're playing it.
The Kane Undertaker approach.
But you have that same dynamic on both sides, where you have 2 brothers and then one lone brother on the other side, either the Usos and Solo or the Tongans and Tama, and then you have Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo who will go after, and that's a great 4-on-4 Survivor Series team.
Jeff Cobb.
Yes, I'm still going to call him JC because that's what they call him here.
Nope, can't do it. I can't.
That's fine. I'm not saying
like,
you have to. I'm just telling you I'm going to.
It's like I mess up every time with what? Oh man, he unplugged it.
I
My
mean,
dog unplugged the fan. I just messed up with
nice.
what's his name, Ricky
Saints.
I wanted to say Starks. See, I wanted to say Ricky Starks right there.
You also mess up with the Hurt Syndicate. Trust me. Name, we got it.
Yeah, I mess up with names easy.
But I think it's going to make a good storyline coming down. I hope we get Jacob and Solo as a rematch for SummerSlam, where you can introduce some of these other characters or bring some of these other characters back together for SummerSlam, to where Jacob gets the belt back and then go on to Survivor Series and have the multi-man match together at Survivor Series. And speaking of interference, oh wait, nope, sorry, forgot about the Queen of the Ring. Can't forget about that. Jade Cargill defeats Roxanne Perez to become the queen of the ring. Asuka, that's right. Man, my brain went all around the world. Jade defeats Asuka in. I'll mention kind of the same thing I mentioned with Raquel in what I think was Jade's best match on the main roster against Asuka there, with the exception of the pinfall. I get it. She over-rotated on the pin. That happens. I'm not going to take that away from her. It was still her best overall match on the main roster to me, and is now Queen of the Ring and now gets to go after Tiffany Stratton. What did you think about it?
I liked this match until what you just said, like the ending and stuff. Look, I was like, is she ready for Asuka? Yeah, she was ready for Asuka. All right. And, wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, hold on. First thing, I shaved my head too. So we're good. We're new in here. But,
I'm Big Mike's younger brother, Tiny Tim. I don't know.
I'm Stuart. But no, I enjoyed this match. I gave it a better rating than the men's. I thought it was like a 6.5 out of 10. It was really good. Wow, pulling a 4.2. Wow, I thought
on cage match. He didn't say it was his.
Okay,
but he said that's the cage match rating. I'd be interested to see what your rating was on it there, Stampede.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I thought it was a good match, in my opinion. Like I said, I thought the women shined in this. So
now I've been called Snitsky and Ezekiel.
I saw that, and I just threw me off when he said Ezekiel. I was like, oh my God, that's funny. Oh, man.
No, I mean, again, I think this was a good match from Jade. I get the over rotation. And this is kind of what Michael alluded to. Yeah. It's not like it killed the pin. Asuka's shoulders were still down, so it's not like it's a huge botch where it messes up the end of the match. It just looked weird. So, yeah, I'm not going to falter for that. Again, one of the best matches I've seen her have in WWE so far. I don't know why I said the main roster like she was ever in NXT. So one of her best matches in the WWE. And I'm glad she won Queen of the Ring. Again, I think it builds the story to SummerSlam, to where you can have her win at SummerSlam, or even if Tiffany wins, and have Naomi come in and tease another cash in. Whether they do the cash in there or wait till later, that's yet to be seen. I'll probably think of that more the closer we get to it, but that's definitely one of the ways they can go. I didn't watch SmackDown or Night of Champions. It's fair. I know a few people that did that as well. So
yeah, I know a lot of people.
You had, so I'm guessing the other ratings that you gave for the other matches that you mentioned, Stampede, were from cage match as well. So those are Stampede ratings, their cage match.
Yeah.
On those two that you've given also. So just to clarify. That's the only reason I asked, because I saw you give ratings on some of the other matches, but I'm guessing those now were from cage match as well.
Taylor.
And not for nothing, kind of this one too. Jade's Storm inspired gear, best gear the night before.
Oh yeah,
that was fire.
That crown looks great on her, by the way.
Yeah,
I hope she comes out and does like the Queen. Yeah, like she does the Queen.
I don't want anybody doing that.
That crap would be hilarious. Well, I mean, what's her? Zelina Vega did it. It didn't do too bad actually.
I don't want anybody. That gimmick should have died with Xavier Woods, rightfully so, because he's the best one to me. Him being King Woods was great.
That was great.
And Michael said it was straight fire, and it was Alba fire. Slagent A. What was your reaction when you saw the SmackDown spoilers last week? I don't like spoilers. I don't like the spoilers that I've seen for this week, too, because they've already taped SmackDown tomorrow so the people could have 4th of July off tomorrow. And I don't like the fact that I've seen spoilers already next week. I won't mention them here because I'm not going to screw your viewing pleasure up like mine was. So you can clip this. You can put it on there. You can put anything you want to. The run-in does not support spoilers.
Nope.
In any shape, form, or fashion.
Nope.
And I will speak for that, even though I don't do it very often. We don't like spoilers in the run-in.
Nope.
Who would you want the guys to have women's? I mean, for next year, I have no idea because I don't even know who would be in the match. Because obviously, you've got Naomi, who's the Money in the Bank right now for the women. So, I mean, that's a year away. I don't even know who would be in the match at this point. Next up, and this is the match I meant to talk about with a lot of confusion and interference. You do have CM Punk and John Cena for the WWE Championship. John Cena gets the win with, I don't want to say help from his friends like with Solo. It's pretty much help from everybody, oddly enough, even though we're all supposed to hate John Cena. Again, this match was just there. Yep. It was a decent match until the end. Kind of the same thing I've talked about with every other one of these matches on this show. I do agree the shoulder tackle, pounce, whatever you want to say on Charles Robinson towards the end of the match was probably the highlight. John Cena taking him out. But what do you think of the match?
I mean, like you said, it was just there. I looked at my wife at the end, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Cena escaped Rollins. He didn't slither. He escaped. As soon as 1, 2, 3 hit, he grabbed that belt and bounced the hell out. He was gone. He knew what was coming. He knows what's coming. He's smart, very smart on that part. So that
and it's very weird to say this match went 26 minutes when it felt like there was maybe 12 minutes of wrestling.
Yeah, this is like maybe 5 minutes of wrestling, honestly, and like 20.
I'll give them more than that. I mean, I would say there's probably no more than 15 minutes of wrestling in the entire actual wrestling in the entire match.
Yeah, it just felt like it took forever, but.
And yes, he did get some more dings in that armor, that heel armor that he has. I like the fact that they progressed on that. Like when they did it with R-Truth and he brought the belt in, and then handed the belt away, and then just turned around and kicked R-Truth in the nuts. I'm glad they didn't just replay that there. They showed that little bit of a progression there. So I do like that part. But I mean, what I tend to agree more with Sped there. It was okay. It wasn't anything that I'm going to go back and rewatch.
No, it definitely was. If you're going to be like, okay, since this is Cena's last year, right? If you're going to be like, all right, Cena, Punk, where does this last match rank? And this last match doesn't even rank in the top 5 of Cena Punk moments. Yeah. In my book.
No, probably not.
If this is the last time, this was like a terrible last match between the two.
But that's been kind of the theme of this whole John Cena run, that John Cena is doing this on purpose because he's trying to run wrestling. Yeah. So I mean, it fits the story, but I agree completely.
Yeah.
Okay, and Dax meant what we thought about this year's winner. I love the fact that Naomi won it.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I think she was the perfect choice for Money in the Bank this year.
Exactly.
I mean, every John Cena match feels like it's that right now.
No. This one felt even slower. Like I had time to bake cookies. I felt like I could bake cookies and make a burger and some French fries. I think I could put a turkey in the oven and have that done. This is how slow it felt. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Apparently, this was the highest rated match he's had on Cage Match since he went heel. Which, I mean, I don't necessarily doubt that because, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to rank them all because they've all been kind of
boring,
slow.
Boring.
Well, that's another word you could use.
I mean, he said he was going to do it. Like, we all should be surprised.
Yes.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised.
Yes.
He said he was going to do it.
He is 100% living up to the promise that he gave everybody that he was going to ruin wrestling.
Yeah, he's a fuck you guys.
And
I'm doing what I want to do this time.
In my opinion, hopefully it ends in SmackDown. It ends at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then John Cena gets to be John Cena again for the last few months of his career and go out and still have slow matches, because I don't know that he's ever going to have a fast-paced match at his age, because it's not like he had a ton of fast-paced matches when he was younger. So let's not get that twisted. John Cena's never had a high work rate. He just hasn't. That's not his game. That's not the way he wrestles.
No.
But hopefully he will get more back to closer to the old John Cena that we used to know once he loses that belt and gets away from the heel character.
Give me one more big match John match. Yeah, like where...
I think you may get that in his last match, and I think he will lose that match, but I think it will have that feel.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Give me one more big John match. You know, I'm glad you got what I was talking about.
Yes,
I would love to have that one more, and give me JBL. JBL calling his final match. Why?
Calling it, yes. Being in it, no.
No, calling it one last match.
Okay, no, I'm good with that. I don't want JBL in the match. I'm calling the match.
No, I don't even think Stem Cells progressed that far for him to get into a match with John Cena. Yeah.
No. But anything else that you have on Night of Champions?
No.
Good. Me neither. Moving on. So we had SmackDown, which was also in Saudi Arabia the night before Night of Champions. A couple things on this one is we have a brand new United States Women's World Champion in Julia. Defeats Zelina Vega and takes the belt, her first championship on the main roster, and really her first attempt on the main roster over on SmackDown. I love this decision. I have talked very publicly on this show that I was not a huge fan of Zelina Vega's championship run. I'm glad it's over with. I hope we build this championship up now. Kind of the same thing that we're trying to do a little bit with the Intercontinental title over on Raw. I think this is where we start kicking these two belts into high gear. I think we've kind of had them there. They've kind of been floating, treading water a little bit. Here's where I think they jump into the white water, get into the rapids, and really kick it up. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. This is where everything is coming around for those two mid-card titles, female mid-card titles. I like that title on her. It looks beautiful, beautiful madness with a beautiful title. Yeah, look, I agree with you. Zelina Vega's championship run felt very lackluster after the great run that Chelsea Green had. Yes, I can say that. I will say that.
100%. She made that title relevant just with her antics and everything else.
Exactly.
He put it in a spotlight.
But you know, I've always said that the United States mid-card title for the female side has been felt bigger than the Intercontinental, even though the Intercontinental now is getting that momentum that it deserves. So you know, I like this. I'm not really surprised they gave it to her this soon. They brought her up real soon.
I wasn't either.
They brought her up real soon to the main roster, and that was
and they gave her the NXT title.
Yep, real quick.
Probably not as quickly as I thought they would when she first came in, but it made sense with Vakur coming in.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. But yeah.
They ended up giving it to her before Vakur had it. So
what Stampede said, smart move, putting the title on Julia like that. Yeah. Hopefully, you're right. It does get something going for it.
Yeah, and I agree with the booking being bad, even with Chelsea Green had it, but Chelsea Green had the title and it meant something because of the effort she put behind it. The character that she built around it made it seem better than it was as far as the booking. Because let's be honest, she fought Michin 2 or 3 times, maybe B-Fab once, and then Zelina Vega, and that was it.
Yep.
So she never really got to sink her teeth in anything, but Chelsea Green does what Chelsea Green does and just made it more important than it really should have been on TV.
Made it gold. She touched it. And
which is something, as much as I like Lyra Valkyria and as much as I think she's great in the ring, she doesn't have the personality to do that with the IC title, which is why I think the IC title got overshadowed. Because you had a huge character in Chelsea Green with that US title, and then you had a very understated character in Lyra Valkyria for that time. She's going to come out of her shell after the Becky Lynch stuff. And I think that's one of the main reasons we focused on the U.S. title more than we did the IC title, because neither one of them were doing crazy things as far as booking and stuff like that.
No.
The only thing you liked about SmackDown was getting to see Uncle Howdy and his new dreadlocks. Speaking of, we did have some other stuff going on, which the Wyatt Six going after the tag team titles was one of those. Eventually ending in a DQ because all the other tag teams got involved there. I'll let you kind of get into what you thought of it. But my main question is this kind of just repetitive now? Because it seems like we did this when the Machine Guns came in for the tag team on SmackDown. As much credit as we've given that division, as it seems like they're kind of in a copy-paste situation now.
Yeah, we said something about the draft coming up and whatnot. They need to reshuffle. They need something different on both brands for the tag team division. And I was about to get to that. Listen, I get what you're saying, Stampede, but anyone, look at Raven, who did the bird call or has a bird call, has never really went past the mid-card level. All right? So hopefully she drops the bird call here soon. We can stop calling her the bird lady. And maybe she'll go to the world championship scene. But back to this. So you're right. It is copy and paste. I just don't see the bigger picture now. All right. If you were trying to make the Wyatt's tag team ambitions something that lights up, then they should be the ones going after everybody else. They should be the ones abducting DIY or Candice LeRae or Chris Sabin or freaking go abduct Bianca Belair to get in Montez's Ford's head. They should be the one that's going after people instead of doing the creative laziness that Stampede just said right there. The creative laziness, copy and paste. Let me control C, control V right here. Okay. That's what's going on. If they really wanted to, they could make the Wyatts the ones that are the antagonizers, the main villains of the tag team division, and they can make the tag team division rise up under the leadership of the tag team champions, which would be what? Tez and
Street Profits.
The Street Profits, So I don't like what they're doing with this stuff, and I wish they would go back to having good tag team matches like they did with the one above them. Which I was
going to get to. Speaking of tag teams, we do have a new tag team in the SmackDown tag division right now. Yeah. It is Andrade and Rey Fenix, who took on DIY, got the win. So where do they fit in this whole? Because they weren't out there in the skirmish with all the other teams at the end of the night. Are they going to try to be a tag team, or was this a one-off for those guys?
I think this might be like a couple off. Like they come back, they do it again, they run it back every now and again. But I think, like what we said a couple weeks ago or last week, whenever it was on one of our episodes, that the draft's coming around. We believe that, the Lucha Brothers are coming back. We're about to get ready. On Raw. I hope they're on Raw. The World Tag Team Championships would look better on Penta and Rey than the WWE Tag Team Championships, in my opinion. They're beautiful. I love both tag team title gold respectively, but the world ones I like those better. But yeah, I think this was just let's see how he does with the lucha. Show him what he does with the lucha scene and everything. Because Penta and Andrade, they're not high flyers like that. They're more the scoop you up ground game type deal. Submission moves, stuff like that. But yeah, there's. And he's right. There's no real direction for either one of these guys, and that's why I think that Penta goes to Rey goes to Penta on Monday night, and they have a feud with Seth Riders. Yes, I'm stealing your stuff. Sorry, Stampede.
Well, I mean, I would much rather them have something with the Judgment Day going after the tag titles. I think that would be better.
Yeah.
Or maybe Braun and Bronson have gotten the tag team titles by then, and by the time the draft is there, and they can go after those two guys. Since obviously Penta and Bronson or Braun Breaker have already got this history going through, as we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Yep.
The other thing that we have on this slide is we did have a women's title match, a street fight of all things. Nope, I'm sorry. This one was the last woman standing. Street fight was Raquel and Rhea. This was the last woman standing between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. That was won by Tiffany Stratton after she hits her with the Money in the Bank briefcase after Naomi tried to come out and cash in again, and then sent through a few tables, retaining her title with no real cash in, although we had a tease again. I mean, I agree. I think Tiffany should have held the belt. This was a decent match, in my opinion. It could have been better.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it. It was a good SmackDown match. It was a good way to kind of close that show out for the women. Again, another point of the women kind of shining through the entire Saudi Arabia weekend.
Really?
So good for them. Kind of showing that spotlight on women's wrestling in a place where women's wrestling is still brand new. So shout out to them on a really good match, in my opinion. Could have been better. Obviously that's every match, but what'd you think?
I like what you said. I thought it was I thought it was okay. Last woman standing match. It could have been better. Great TV match. First off, great TV match. It wasn't a PLE match. It wasn't a, house show match, with a bunch of shenanigans in it. It was straight to the point. You had one female saying, "Hey, I'm about to cash in on you," and the other one's like, "Give me that briefcase. I'm going to hit you with it and put you through a table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Game over. So I thought it was a high match. I think this is the last time because there's rumors that Nia is going to go to Raw, and that they're going to shuffle some of the women.
Well, he's on the title program at all. So if she goes to Raw, she's probably going to be in that title program with Rhea or Io, whoever wins that.
Last time Nia's around it. I like Nia's championship run this last time.
I don't mind Nia since she's come back.
Yeah, she's been really good since she came back. This heel work that she's doing has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't minded this run since she's come back. So definitely not a bad thing for her being around. I do want it to be the last time her and Tiffany go at it, just because again, like we've talked about, copy and paste a lot on some of these titles. I want it to be the last time that she's going up against Tiffany for that belt. I do hope she goes over to Raw and then let her get in some other feuds. I wouldn't mind seeing her go after the IC title maybe, or the US title, since we do need some bigger names. Obviously, we've got Becky and Bayley over in the Intercontinental. If she stays on SmackDown, let her get in that US title picture.
Yeah.
So that would be really good. Last up on SmackDown, we've got Basic Punkonomics.
Malibu. All right. That's what I said as soon as he came out. Malibu.
One of the weirdest and funniest and dumbest and best segments that I think I've seen in a while. By no means is it going to win an Oscar for his performance, but I thought it was very entertaining as he comes out and tries to rap. But yeah, I obviously you wanted to talk about it. Go ahead.
Look, man, I looked at my wife as soon as he came out. I was like, look, Malibu's Most Wanted, too. It's actually Chicago's Most Wanted. Yeah, it'd be the sequel. Yeah. All right. I would love it if he would have said, King Kong ain't got shit on me. That would have been funny. But Punk Life, man. Yeah, it was funny. That was a good, and I'm going to say it. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. I'm going to say it. For all the bull crap that he gave Saudi Arabia about blood money, I mean, he took that blood money and he ran with it. He ran with that one.
And I don't get the comment. All he said one thing.
He did. He only said one thing about it. That was it.
And he apologized for it because he said it didn't have anything to do with Saudi Arabia. And look, whether you believe him or not, that's up to you. Not you personally, but just anybody out here listening to us. If you believe him at all, that's up to you. But it is what it is. I mean,
hey man, he got paid. Who cares?
Yeah,
he got paid. He got paid to be a goofball in this segment. He got paid a lot of money to be a goofball right here.
And why not go out there and just have some fun with it? I mean,
exactly.
I don't feel bad for him, Stampede. He got paid a crap ton of money to go out there and have some fun and just be goofy.
It's almost like that segment, and I'm going to bring this up with Chris Jericho when he was backstage and he was on the cell phone and he had the bottle in his hand. He was pretending to drink it and stuff like that. And they made him come out and do the sobriety test and stuff on Monday Night Raw. This was all on Monday Night Raw at one point, folks. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, right? And yeah, it's almost reminded me of that. He got paid a crap ton of money to do something stupid on TV.
So, in the way that it can have Saudi in it, not be about Saudi, is it was about the other part of the tweet about The Miz. Him and The Miz were going back and forth, and that was the only thing he could think of at the time to take a dig at Miz, and it just so happened to include Saudi Arabia, which was kind of his explanation of the whole situation. So,
yeah, and that's why I use this quote of blood money.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. We've all said stuff. I say we all. I know I have said stuff in my past that would make me look stupid today and could get me a lot of criticism today. It happens. I'm not perfect. Neither is he. He'll tell you that. Anybody else will tell you that, obviously. And if they're going to pay me millions of dollars to go over there and act like I'm a rapper and do all that, then
listen,
I got to pay my bills too, brother. So I mean,
that's pay bills. Yeah, man. Money make the world go round. Yeah. I think Wu-Tang said it best. Cash rules everything around me. Cream. $1 bill.
There you go. I mean, and I'm not trying to make light of any situation because I get it, all that stuff going on. But the bottom line is that's what happened. I'm not going to call him any more of a hypocrite than I would call anybody else in that situation, or any less of a hypocrite than anybody else in that situation. And there are many.
The New Day are unicorns. Okay.
I mean,
the New Day are unicorns.
But you can't say if he never went there because he did. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, that's like if something never happened, then I mean, you can say that with almost anything.
Yeah, Bill Clinton didn't get some stuff in the Oval Office.
If WWE never goes to Saudi Arabia, do women have the spotlight they have right now that they didn't have 7 or 8 years ago? So I mean, I can easily turn that on its head the other way.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, there's a million ways you can go with that.
Then they get the Mae Young Classic, and why can't we get that to come back? Why can't we get?
I would love the Mae Young Classic to come back. That would be great.
Call it just something else, but the Mae Young Classic and the Cruiserweight Classic, bring those two back. I love the Cruiserweight division, man. I'm a Cruiserweight. That's why I've always liked the Cruiserweight division. All right, Brian Kendrick was one of my favorite wrestlers in the early 2000s.
Yeah. So
sliced bread.
Nothing else from SmackDown really that I can think of. We've kind of hit on all the highlights there. We will move on to Monday Night Raw. And again, there's our boy CM Punk getting involved yet again, coming out and attacking Seth Rollins because of him screwing him out of the championship again on Saturday. It seems like we're headed for Seth Rollins and CM Punk 3, I guess. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. So
75.
Are you excited for that match? What are we looking at?
I'm looking at possibly, Hangman Adam Page versus, John Moxley. That's what I'm looking at versus this. I'm more invested in. So
you think this happens on Saturday Night Main Event?
If not,
because it's not, because that's when Seth Rollins and LA Knight are fighting.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. This, okay, they're putting this on a big pay-per-view, and a big pay-per-view match like that should be, Hell in a Cell, maybe between these two, or
I don't want it to be Hell in a Cell just because CM Punk and Drew just did that last year. Some sort of stipulation though.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just throwing Hell in a Cell out there. Maybe Last Man Standing, something like that. But like I said, if I'm gonna be like, hey, what are you more excited for? If someone from the IWC is like, yo, Sped, what are you more excited for? Death Riders versus Hangman, Death Riders and the Elite versus Hangman, or are you more excited for CM Punk versus the Seth Riders? And I'm gonna go towards Death Riders versus Hangman on this one.
I am too, but that's what I'm saying is you don't have to compare the two because they're not happening the same night.
No. I want it to be the final encounter, and that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't think it will be. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be. I think it will be for a while.
I think they'll finally draw a line under it. Kind of the same they did with CM Punk and McIntyre.
Yeah. Well, they were hurt. Punk was hurt during that time. That's why.
Yeah. And from what I've heard, they're talking about changing Seth Rollins' music to where it's not something that people sing along to.
Yes.
So, I mean, they may be doing that as soon as next week. We'll have to wait on Monday and see. I think they should. That way, when eventually he turns face again, they can bring that back, and then you get the huge pop and everybody's singing the song when he comes back, as opposed to what you have now.
Yeah. Exactly. That was dope as hell, wasn't it? All right, listen.
Death Riders. Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree that that's going to be the better match. But again, it's not competing against this one. The one competing against this one is even worse. It's LA Knight and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, man.
So I'm definitely going Seth Riders and Hangman over that.
Yeah, can we skip Saturday Night Main Event? I'll defend my crown 3 times over if we can skip Saturday Night Main Event. Play it.
Well, we're not necessarily doing Saturday Night Main Event. And we'll talk about this later. But our 3 shows next week are going to be Evolution, All In, and Great American Bash. That's the 3 that are going to be put on the line.
Yeah. No, I got. Yeah, I probably need to name that.
So the Oracle is for Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Oracle is going to be for. He was, he's been a best friend. He's been a wise man. He's been an advocate. Now he's the Oracle.
Yeah. Speaking of an advocate.
Also on Raw, I did forget a couple of things. That kind of all leads in. You had the match between Penta and Seth against Braun and Bronson, which, had some shenanigans in it. Jey Uso comes out to help. So at some point we may get the 3-person tag. You did have LA Knight coming out and attacking Seth Rollins, which does lead to the Saturday Night Main Event match that I mentioned that's coming up next week. LA Knight versus Seth Rollins at Saturday Night Main Event. I'm glad it's happening there because I don't really care to see it, to be completely honest. And I don't plan on watching Saturday Night Main Event anyway because I've got other stuff going on that day because I'm going to be watching All In and Great American Bash. So, yeah.
I love Atlanta. I do. I love Atlanta. It's my home. But I'm sorry. All In. I was going to say All Out. All In looks amazing.
Okay. Yeah, All In's going to be a million times better than Saturday Night's Main Event. And Great American Bash. I like NXT, but it's going to be a million times better than Great American Bash.
Oh, yeah. No, but I like what Stampede just said right here.
I see it.
That crap made me laugh right here. Yeah, that's where the pencil's pointing. Right down there, folks. Crap made me laugh.
Nobody sees that for you.
See the pencil?
I see the pencil, but nobody sees where it's talking.
Stalking.
And what's an oracle? I don't know the textbook definition, but essentially it's kind of like a wise man, somebody that may be able to tell you the future kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of what that is.
The oracle.
Somebody the encyclopedia definition of oracle and let us know what it is. So
the oracle
give Dex an answer.
Is the person like who's in the Matrix looking for the next Neo. Right? That's all they are doing. They're looking for the next Neo. All right.
We also learned that night that you've got Io Sky challenging Rhea Ripley for her title at Evolution. In a promo, Rhea Ripley came out talking about what she wanted to do next. She was interrupted by Io Sky, and Io Sky said it would be an honor to face her for her title at Evolution. I'm personally excited for this match. I think it's going to be a good match between the two of them. But I saw your face. Tell me what you think.
It's just this story. I'm a story guy. Okay. You could have had Rhea run through somebody who might be a contender later, not right now, but later, and set it up that way. Okay, now you're the true number 1 contender. I'm more old school on that part, so that's on me for rolling my eyes and stuff. That's on me because I'm more of an old school.
I don't mind the story. Is kind of what I'm saying. I like the fact that they are giving Io the respect to say, hey, you can name your next opponent at Evolution. And she chose to go with the person who she thinks is best, who was champion before her and only lost in a triple threat match. So I can see her picking that. I think that story actually makes perfect sense for Evolution. Now, when you get to Sun, I 100% think that this was supposed to be Liv Morgan's spot.
Yes.
And the story would have been different, but until Liv Morgan got hurt, and they've kind of pushed this in to get a good match at Evolution.
Yes. No,
I think Liv Morgan would have had to earn it. If she had not gotten hurt because they had already kind of mentioned that. So we got a couple definitions: Stampede, Oracle, Insight, Wise, Counsel, or prophetic predictions. A priest or priestess acting as a medium through whom advice or prophecy was sought out from the gods in classical antiquity.
Yeah.
And I'm from Alabama, and I just read all that, kind of.
Yeah. I'm from Georgia, and I don't
Roll
know.
Tide.
Hot Tide.
And yes, I agree, Stampede. I think Liv was the match, was the original match. I could definitely see Io retaining. I think she should.
Hot Tide.
But you know how they like to give you know how they like to give Rhea that rub. So
yeah, they like
it does give me a lot of jeopardy in the match where if it had been somebody off the wall that was going after Io, I would have definitely thought Io was winning. But at least with it being Rhea, it puts a little jeopardy in it. So I'm like, maybe not. Kind of thing.
But didn't Kairi Sane in a promo earlier or after that? Sorry, because that started off the show. Didn't she say, "Hey, I want that World Heavyweight Championship"? She's been.
Well, that's where you have Stampede's comment.
Yeah.
Where he thinks Kairi Sane and Vakor could be frontrunners for the Battle Royal that they mentioned, where the winner gets to go to Clash in Paris to go up against the champion as well.
Yeah.
So, that fits in completely there, where Kairi basically said she just wants everybody's gold. Doesn't matter if it's a belt. Doesn't matter if you've got a gold ring on. If you've got some gold coins in your pocket for some reason.
Hey,
if you've got some gold bond powder, she may take that as well.
Yeah, don't take the gold bond. It's too wet. It's too hot outside.
Yeah, it's hot down here, especially if you're in Atlanta and at Evolution. Don't take the gold bond.
Yeah, don't take the gold bond, man.
People get stabbed over that.
Yeah, man, you get stabbed for less than that.
We also had, this one's going to hurt, a very underwhelming match, in my opinion, between Sheamus and Rusev.
I liked it.
I thought it was okay. Maybe it's my fault for expecting more, because I expected something similar to what we got with Kaiser and Sheamus, or McIntyre and Sheamus, something along those lines. And that's just not what I got. So maybe that's completely on me. You guys can let me know in the comments if I'm overreacting with my underwhelmness, which is really weird to say, or if I'm right. What do you think, Sped?
I think you might be overreacting because Sheamus can't move very well like he used to anymore. That neck is not. If you watch him do his thing, and I've been watching him for a little while since his neck surgery, he's stiff. When he turns his body. He don't turn his head anymore. He barely turns his head. So it's kind of hard for Sheamus to do his thing. And, like, I want to call him Miro, but Rusev, he
we've already talked about you in names. It's okay.
I know. I want to call him.
Here for.
But it did deliver. It delivered for a Monday night match. Both did redeem themselves. They're older gents right now. They're Sheamus is already out the door. He's 1 foot out the door, maybe even 2 out the door. He's just trying to keep his head in the door so that way they stop shutting it, on him. But okay.
I mean, I'm glad you put that on there, Lady Alpha, because I was wondering why you were blaming Pat McAfee when he wasn't there, but it's because he wasn't there to yell, "It's fight night." I got you.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that. I was going to bring it up when Sped was done, but yeah, I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, no, I get. Yeah, McAfee does make that nice, but I don't know, man. I enjoyed this match because the 2 older gents doing it. They're still at the peak. Well, one's at the peak of his game. The other one's on his way out. I still think Rusev can he can hold the U.S. title again, or he can hold the Intercontinental title. I think he can still make a run with it, And
that's why I'm completely okay saying maybe I'm the problem there, and that's fine. That's why I led with it the way I did, because it just didn't connect with me personally. Nothing of what Rusev has done since he's come back has really connected with me.
No, I get that.
I was hoping once he got past the Alpha Academy, it would pick up some steam and pick up some more edge. I guess would be some more violence to it. And yes, this match was a little bit more than was, but it just hasn't hit with me personally. And again, that could 100% be me.
Well, no, you're not wrong there. Since Rusev has come back, it's been a stop and go train here. What you're saying is you want more momentum for this man. You know, you want to see him going chugga, and not stopping at every stop along the way. You get to see Rusev here 1 week, and then 2 weeks later, you get to see him again. 2 weeks later, you see him. So how are you going to build momentum that way when you're like, oh, okay, so I get to see you in 2 weeks? There's
Randy saying the kids love the Pirate Princess. I'm in, and nothing makes me happier hearing stories like this, where Randy's kids who are 9, 10, around that age level, who are just now getting into wrestling, especially women's wrestling. Man, nothing gives me more hope than that right there. I love that, Randy. I thank you so much for sharing that with us. I know you and I have talked about it a couple times, how they're huge into wrestling. I hate that you guys are going to miss Evolution. I know you guys are going to be on vacation, so it's for a good reason. But, man, if you can, go back and watch it. It will be on Peacock. You can watch the replay when you guys get back into town, because I think there's going to be a lot of really good matches over there. So love hearing that.
Stampede, you're right. You're right. I'm not
that one or this one?
That one right there.
That one? Okay.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right. And look, Rusev is going to get better. Rusev is going to get, a little bit. He's going to get better. He's going to get back. And he was off for, 6 months, 7 months? We didn't see him on screen. So it's.
Sheamus?
No, Rusev. I mean, from his age.
He was gone for a while.
That's what I'm saying.
6 months, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was gone for more than half a year. So, he's going to get back into it. There's definitely ring rust and everything. But the most disappointing thing of the night, and I'm going to switch segments here real fast. The most disappointing thing of the night for me, okay, was that women's match right there. All right, was that draw right down there. That was the most disappointing thing of Monday Night Raw at all. And yes, Rusev is going to get himself in a contention for that right there, U.S. or
I hope so. I hope it starts going up.
Yes, but back that IC #1 contenders match, you could have done a triple threat numerous of ways. 100%
agree.
You did it like this? You make it as a draw? Come on. You could have had Lyra got beaten up backstage by Becky, or Becky beats up Bayley again. Or, hell, what happens here? Lyra wants to use a steel chair, misses it, hits the referee goes down. Here comes freaking or somebody hits the referee, we'll just say that. Referee goes down, Becky comes out, hits whoever she wants with the manhandle slam, knocks out the other person with the steel chair, pins that 1, 2, 3 like that. You get the other ref coming out. And then Adam Pearce is like, what the hell was this? It's official triple threat match. You could have done this in so many different ways, but a draw was the worst way to do it. And I'm just going to stand on that hill.
No, I'm 100% with you. I completely agree. If you're going to have a quote unquote draw situation, 2 thumbs down is what that says.
Yeah.
So even his kids agreed. And they're, like I said, brand new to wrestling, and they don't understand the nuances like we would, but they can watch that and say, that just doesn't look right.
No,
it would have made more sense to me if you had wanted to have the match. You could have done everything in the match, but let them get so mad at each other that they just start wailing on each other, and then the ref's trying to break them up and can't break them up, and then you double DQ them.
Or you freaking double count
out.
Yeah.
Or you can do it. You still have a draw, quote unquote, but it's not in the weird way that they did it. I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. I completely agree with you.
I agree with you, Stampede, on that. Yes, I agree. It was creatively better than what they've been doing with the DQ, and what Mike was talking about with the whole. They could have done it better in a sense of, they get a 5 count between the breakups. We all know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't get ding, ding, ding. There you go. There's a draw right there. Or they're out on the ramp beating each other up right there, and they get down to 10. We've seen that plenty of times in the past, and it's worked out in that situation like that. This right here, both ladies, I never understood the double count, first off. All right, because someone's arm's got to be above someone else. All right, someone's got to have their arm on. So that counts as a cover. You're initiating cover. You're not being counted. The person below you is being counted. Yeah, so I never understood a double DQ when a person has their arm over the other person. I get it. All right, I get it. But now, what you said and other things like that could have worked out that way with the breaking it up with the 5 count or the double DQ, a double DQ
But
on the 10 count.
To Sped's point, at least they did try something different. We didn't like the way it happened. We didn't like creatively, we didn't like the way it looked. But again, he's being very complimentary of him. What did I say?
Sped.
Stampede, sorry. So I agree. They at least tried something different, and maybe it doesn't connect this time. When they try it again, maybe they'll do it a little better. I can completely get behind that. But just the way it was executed didn't really hit with me. So
yeah, that was one I was going to talk about. Yeah.
The only problem is it would have been so weird to have it, and as soon as they would have set a time limit, since they never do that at WWE,
exactly,
everybody would have said, "Well, that's going to happen right then and there."
Exactly,
because they don't normally announce time limits anymore.
Exactly,
that works in AEW because they announce time limits for every match unless it's a championship match, so that plays into that very well.
Yep.
Everybody in WWE are like, why the hell are we talking about a time limit? We don't do that.
We haven't done that since the 90s. Scheduled for one fall, 30-minute match for the European Championship.
But we will end Monday Night Raw with the biggest news of the night. The Judgment Day have defeated the New Day for the new tag team titles. I'll let you go first on this one. Do you agree with it?
Judgment Day got all the gold. And no, not really. I don't agree with it because you could have done – the New Day is one of the best tag teams in this decade. One of the best. It goes Usos, New Day.
Or ever. One of the best ever.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. But how do you book these guys as atrocious that you booked them? You book these guys like
the same way they've done almost every other champion in the past 6 months.
And it's horrible. It's horrible, man. So, but whatever, man. Judgment Day got cheered. Pittsburgh doesn't know who they like, honestly. That's normal.
Well, in their defense, you put the two biggest heels together in the Judgment Day and the New Day. They've got to pick somebody.
Yeah.
So, and they picked the Judgment Day, and the Judgment Day end up winning. So in next week is where we will see. Next week will be the real litmus test. Is when the New Day and the Judgment Day aren't paired together.
Yeah.
Do the Judgment Day still get cheered? Or do they start getting booed again? Like, was this a thing where we just chose the Judgment Day over the New Day?
Well, no.
Or are we going to cheer the Judgment Day now?
I've been seeing some cheers for JD McDonough since he's come back.
Or JD.
Yeah, well,
there have been individual applauses for like Dom and JD.
Yeah.
But as the group as a whole, they still normally get booed as a whole group.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. But I mean, hey, look, if they're trying to make the Judgment Day look good again, they got all the gold.
The moment the New Day turned heel was probably one of the best moments WWE's had in a while. Even to me, I liked it better. I think the John Cena one had more impact.
Yep.
But I liked that heel turn more than I did John Cena's.
Yeah. And this heel turn, this heel work was hell of a lot better than when they first came in, when they were first heels. That's a new kid. Yeah. So.
But the run overall has been very lackluster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. And the problem is they're very fractured in how they've been booked. Not even just in matches. Now that this, breakup storyline, I don't even know if this was probably the direction with them 2 weeks ago before Liv got hurt. This could very well be another ripple of Liv Morgan being hurt, to where they were pushing and pushing and pushing for a breakup. But now that Liv Morgan's not going to be there, they give this to solidify them so they can do the breakup again in 4 to 6 months when Liv Morgan returns.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody starts losing their titles, and everybody's like, well, we had all this gold, now we're not. And Liv comes back and goes, what the hell, guys? What are you doing?
You said 4 to 6 months? Wow. I thought
she had her shoulder surgery. No, I mean, it's about a 6-month recovery period.
Yeah, I was thinking about almost a year because the way she hurt her shoulder. I'm thinking
all of it's different. So, all of it's different.
Baseball terms, with baseball players and stuff like that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So, this could be very well a pivot, just like the last one was.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see.
We'll see.
And that was everything for Monday Night Raw. Is there anything else that you can think of?
No. It would be the Rumble, he said.
Yeah, that's about 6 months away because it's the 6 month, and that would be in January. So that's about 6 months, a little more, 6 or 7 months.
I didn't think she was coming back until after WrestleMania.
I don't know. The shoulders are so weird because it could be 3 to 4, or it could be 6 to 8, or it could be a year. It just really depends.
If you tore your rotator cuff, you're out for a minute. Have fun with that.
Yeah. So, the only thing we really did, never mind. Well, that's another story for another day.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stories.
Well, I'm talking about from Raw, but
fair enough.
NXT, you had Joe Hendry returning in a match. I forget who he faced now. Who was Joe Hendry up against?
Man, it wasn't Brady.
NXT too.
I did too. Damn it, man.
Well, Wesley. It was Wesley.
That's what I was thinking of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It took me a second to remember that. Yeah. Defeats Wesley, and now Santana comes out and helps him when High Rise comes in. And I believe we're going to get the Santana and Hendry tag team against High Rise maybe coming up next Tuesday.
I don't know.
I think I saw that advertised.
I think I did too.
Yeah, so I think that's going to come up. It was a decent match. Wesley and Joe Hendry are both really good. I like Joe Hendry. Obviously, I'm a fan of his. Wesley's always really good in the ring. So it was a good match. Interested to see how this tag team goes. I'm very interested in the Slammiversary match now. Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Santana all in the match together for the TNA Championship. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out when Slammiversary comes around in about a month or so. And yes, Isaiah confirms it is next Tuesday. So
nice.
Not on Great American Bash, which is odd. I figured they would put that there, but it will be on regular NXT. There's a lot of matches coming on NXT next week. To be honest, that I thought a few of them would be Great American Bash, but here we are. You also had kind of the family storyline come to a head. You had Tony D'Angelo and Stax and Luca Crucifino out there. Luca Crucifino turns around, hits Tony. And Stax gets in, thinks he's on his side, turns around and hits Stax, and we find out that Luca is on Luca's side, not necessarily either one of the others. Where do you think this goes in the future with those three?
All right, so Luca is about to become the hitman. All right, if we're going to be talking Italian terms here, all right, you got the underboss fighting the main boss. Now there's a hitman, and that's going to be Luca. Luca's straight up, he wanted out, and he got out. He said, screw you and screw you. I'm done, and he's out. And this right here, I like this storyline. This storyline to me is number one in NXT right now. All right. Stax, Tony D, Luca, the whole family imploding. This right here screams money. Just screams money from top to bottom. And if they do it right, the Hitman should be the new Heritage Cup champion here in a month or two.
So do you think we end up in a triple threat match between the three, or how do you think it turns out?
I think it is going to be a triple threat match because, like I said, he's going to become like an assassin. Okay, like the Hitman, like an Italian Hitman. He's going to take out the boss, and then the boss is going to come back because of that, and then he's going to take out Stax as well during that time, and Stax is going to come back, and they're all going to fight. It's going to be one big family battle. Who runs NXT really? Is it the assassin, the Hitman, Luca, or is it the underboss trying to be the boss, Stax, or is it the Godfather, the Don, Tony D? And if they do it right, they got a cinematic movie going on right here if they do this right. I would love to see more of that in the restaurant, Tony D talking, and then Luca comes in and he puts down some stuff that like he just got something from Stax, like a little present. There's Stax, I took him out. Now I want a Heritage Cup match or something, Yeah,
I hope it comes out to a three-way match. I'd like to see those three go at it. I'm a lot more invested in Luca than I was 2 weeks ago, so I guess it did its job there. When he first came out and just kind of stood there and stared, I wasn't sure where the story was going because it was very willy-wonny, iffy-wonny kind of thing. I like the fact that he kind of stood in his own business and said, "Look, I'm on my side. I don't care about you. I don't care about you. Both you can kiss my ass. Yep. I'm gonna do what's best for me now. I'm tired of putting everybody else first. It's time to put Luca first." So I like that storyline. I like him kind of stepping into his own and moving from there. But I hope we get a triple threat match at Great American Bash. I think that'd be really good.
It'd be cool if they had it separated into families. You got the Tony D'Angelo family, you got the Stacks family, and then you got Luca family. That'd be cool. You separate it off. All right, who's part of this family?
Yeah, but that build would be way too long to happen anytime soon, because right now the only people that has a family is Stacks.
Stacks, yep. You're right.
Tony's lost all his people.
Yep.
Luca doesn't really have anybody because he just went on his own. Stacks is the only one that has his goons. So it would take a little bit more of a build for that, unless you're just going to hire extras, kind of like they did with Stacks in the beginning. Just kind of hired extras and kept it with him. But I mean, I'm just happy with a match between those three, and make it different. Make that for the Heritage Cup. I don't know that the Heritage Cup has ever had a three-way dance like that.
I don't think so.
It's always been so round-based, so different as far as just one-on-one competition. I think it would be something different for a Heritage Cup as a one-off. I still like the Heritage Cup matches, but as a one-off, I think that would be interesting.
Oh my God! Wow. He said Wesley's kind of like Mike.
Yeah, I saw it. Mike and Saul wandering through the desert.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
You also had who's that at the bottom left? Is that the Miles Bourne match?
Yeah, Miles Bourne, Lexus King.
Lexus King. Miles Bourne gets the win there. Look, and that kid's come into his own.
He's shining like a diamond.
Lexus King has kind of been, spinning his wheels a little bit for a while since he lost the Heritage Cup, as a matter of fact. But Miles Bourne, man, is kicking it into high gear, as well as Tavion Heights. I mean, I know you don't have him on here, but that match he had with Javon Evans was really good. I think the match he's going to have with Charlie Dempsey next week, that's one of the ones that's happening on Tuesday, to see if he can leave the NQCC. I'm sorry, Ren. We love you. I don't know why everybody's trying to leave, but
I love
his match to live the NQCC. I mean, as much as we've given them some crap about how Charles is being booked, the people around him are definitely being elevated, and that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. No, and I think Dempsey, he's gonna get booked very well next year. He's playing his role. Role.
Once everybody else goes out on their own, he can start coming out and taking them out one by one. Maybe that would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. You guys left now. You got to meet the Reaper. Yeah.
But Ren's personality, and if you guys follow me on X, I'm a huge fan of Ren Claire. I think she's hilarious. She's very Chelsea Green-like on NXT TV for me. Even when she doesn't have any lines, doesn't have anything going, she still stands out with her facial expressions and just her mannerisms and things like that. She's very expressive. I think she's a future star as well. I'd like to see her actually get in the ring a little bit more and not get beat every time. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really good group for them breaking up to where, but when they were all in a group together, it was kind of like, well, what are we doing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Speaking of the ladies, you had the other match you have down there. Lainey Reed beating Thea Hale in her, what was it, Lainey's second or third match on NXT?
Third.
Second at me. Yeah, something like that. Shout out to Lainey Reed from Gadsden, Alabama. Roll Tide.
High Tide.
Even though she went to Jacksonville State.
High Tide.
I'm always going to shout out the Alabama people, obviously being from Alabama. But what are we doing with Thea Hale, man? I mean, Thea Hale doesn't seem like she can buy a win. What's going on with her?
Yeah, but this was a good match for her. Two upstart females going at it.
Can you really call Thea Hale an upstart anymore? She's been there for a while now.
Yeah, but she's still young. So, yes.
She is.
You know, like she started at, 18? Right after high school? You know, so she's still young. She's still getting her feet wet type of deal. And, she's going to be a North American champion here soon. Don't count her out, all right? Out of everyone that came out of the puke you, okay, she was the one that definitely caught my eye, and not just because she's a pretty girl, but the High Tide, that's what I'm saying. They got a better chance of winning the Kentucky Derby with a donkey this year than winning the national title. Saying it. It's FSU's year. What's up? I'll play it. Let's not clip that. No one clip that. I don't want to go 2 13 this year and be like, see, Sped? See? Should shut the hell up. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like Thea Hale's gone 2-13.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. But at the same time, she'll be fine. We all know that WWE doesn't care about W's or L's. I mean,
They don't.
look at Finn Balor. I don't think he's won a single match in like 5 years. Yeah. And yet he has been tag team champion 4 times, 5 times in the last 3. Yeah. Hey, hold on. That's the one game. I think me and Mike will be live for that game. So that way I can be chopping the whole time. Okay? And anytime he says roll tide, I'm going to say high tide. All right? Just to make him like, what? Stop it. All right? High tide.
All right. Next up. We had, again, another new tag team. Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley taking on Sol Ruka and Zarya in what I thought was a really good match. Tatum and Izzy getting the win, which leads to Izzy actually getting a North American title shot against Sol. Who do you think wins that match, and what do you think about the tag team match?
I don't think they're taking it off of Sol right now. And did anybody not learn anything from anything? Don't trust Izzy. Who the hell trusts Izzy? Why?
That's why I think Izzy actually probably gets it.
Well, I got.
We'll see what we do our predictions for officially, but right now I'm leaning her way.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and I like Sol Ruka. I'm a huge fan of hers.
Too. I like her too, but if they do, I just think that it's time for Zarya to turn heel and just unleash Zarya. It's time to unleash her. Yeah, she's just been playing this backup role and tag team partner role, and it's just not working out in my opinion. She is the Australian juggernaut. She's the Australian Jordan Grace. All right, and you can literally look. We're finally pushing the women that look like a beast. When we didn't do this in the 90s and 2000s, when we had Jacqueline, when we had Chyna, when we had Jazz, women.
I mean, in their defense, they pushed Chyna pretty hard.
Okay, they didn't push Jacqueline, they didn't push Jazz, and I mean, they did push Beth Phoenix, but to an extent in the era where she was just really the only non-diva. Yeah. But like it's
I just want to see the Culling win something. And I think this is a perfect spot where she can come in and win the North American title, give the Culling a little bit of gold. It continues the Tatum Paxley Izzy story. I think that's going to be a cool story where maybe, Tatum over here something, and where they end up having a match for North American title. That could be a future Halloween Havoc match or something, maybe. Tatum and Izzy, that would be pretty cool. So I'm really glad where they're going with that. You also say it again.
Tatum just needs a friend.
I don't think she's going to have one very long with Izzy there.
No.
We did learn of the new #1 contender for Obafemi. And it's Inomura, who beats Jasper Troy in the #1 contenders match. Thank God. Completely honest, I didn't want to see Jasper Troy again. Look, the kid's going to be good one day, but it's his second or third match on the roster. He doesn't need a second title shot in his first 3 matches. I know they want to push LFG. The guy's not ready for that. I'm glad Inomura got it. I want to see a different challenger. I think it would be an interesting dynamic with Inomura and Obafemi. I'm excited for that match a lot more than I would have been for a Jasper Troy rematch. But that is my thoughts. How do you feel about the decision, and do you agree?
No, I agree with everything you just said. Because when I saw this match, I was like, "There's no way they let Jasper win." Like there's no way we're getting Jasper again. For the NXT Championship. So, but yes, I agree with Isaiah on this one. And I think Stampede put something up about the Diva. Yeah, that one. I agree with that too. They're night and day. It's the yin yang effect. It's just night and day on that. But yeah, no, I agree with everything.
John Cena and CM Punk are involved in that? Wait, what?
What?
You said yin and yang. That's John Cena and CM Punk, right? That's what I've seen for the past month. Is there yin and yang?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they are involved in that somehow. Sorry. You know? No, I get what you're saying. They are. Yeah.
That's all I've heard for the past month is yin and yang is Cena and Punk. So.
Yeah, they definitely.
I got triggered.
They freaking definitely pushed that hardcore for no reason. But.
Yep.
Hey, Blake. Oh, what was her name? Monroe. Blake Monroe. Yeah, I was gonna call her.
We had the promo between Jordynne Grace and Fatal Influence. Fatal Influence pretty much being Fatal Influence, and then Jordynne Grace gets a little bit of help, a little bit of glamorous help in the form of Blake Monroe, which will bring us to a tag team match between Fallon Henley, Nancy Jane, Blake Monroe, and Jordynne Grace coming up next Tuesday. Are you excited about that match? It's Blake's debut, right? It's actually not next Tuesday. It's actually on Great American Bash.
Yeah.
So we actually go up Saturday against her old company, AEW, which, okay, that's what we're going to do.
Good luck, because All In looks freaking phenomenal. All right? It looks like one of those cards that you're going to be like, you know what? What was WrestleMania? What was on that card again? Nothing. Garbage. That's what happened. That's what's going to be played around.
But you're excited for that tag team match at all?
Am I with it? You know, like you said, I'm probably going to be watching more. I'm more hyped for AEW than anything when it comes down to that
100%.
Weekend. So whatever NXT and WWE is doing that weekend, it's falling flat for me personally. You know, I mean, the NXT Championship match, Oba versus Iramura, is nowhere going to be on the level of Okada versus Omega. You know, or
come on, that's not even fair.
The Young Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay, or you know, okay,
we understand. Yes, it's nowhere near anybody on the card. We got it.
Dark Order versus freaking.
Well, let's not go that far.
I'm playing.
That's
0 hour.
But it is an interesting time to make her debut. It is in a tag team match. Yes. It will be interesting to see how they do it. Obviously, Jordynne Grace and JC Jane have their title match the next day at Evolution. So it will obviously all lead to that. Hopefully, depending on no matter who wins, you get to see Blake Monroe. I was glad to see her come out and just attack somebody. You got to see a little bit more of an action side to her instead of the cartoon character Sabrina Carpenter looked like. She actually got to come out and do some swinging and hitting and things like that. So it wasn't just the same character. I was glad to see that side of her a little bit. I am excited to see her debut. I will have to watch it Saturday night after I watch All In, but I will definitely be watching that and excited for it. And speaking of AEW, we will have our All In predictions next week, but we do have AEW 300 that was this Wednesday, and I thought it was a great show. What'd you think?
I loved it. I even said on Michael Norton's post today that that
would be good. Has that been announced yet, Pete, or is that just you fantasy booking? Because that'd be really good.
I think it's him fantasy booking.
Although I think it would be weird to see Jordynne Grace and Masha there because they just wrestled right before she left. So I don't know. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. No, and that's what I was reading. Yo, I was gonna say that on the final word before Mike did his. Zack Sabre Jr. is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I thought that was gonna factor into Forbidden Door. I thought that would.
Oh, of course it will.
That is freaking dope.
And apparently they have already announced that, which makes me think JC Jane may win that and not Jordynne Grace, unfortunately. Because, again, we just saw Grace and Slamovich a little while ago, and they'll probably want to put something different on there. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, they announced that. Nice. I mean, I liked this show. I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, the match, and I fucking hate saying this, man. I hate saying this with a passion because you know how much I'm not a fan of these guys. But yet again, here we go. The Young Bucks put on another good match. I'm like,
it's okay to say that just because you don't like them. I say it all the time about people I don't like if they put on good matches. It's okay to say that.
They put on a great match. And then, like, Look, I don't care what Stampede says. I don't care what anybody says. You can't change my mind on this. Takesha is the #1 wrestler in the world. That guy is so damn
I don't
smooth.
know that he really argues that. He may put him at like 2 or 3, but he's got him up there. I'm pretty sure.
He's got him up there. He does. And when I do my little ranking system come, before August, who I have, just spoiler alert, you guys already know #1. And it's not Dirty Dom Mysterio. All right. It's Takesha. All right. I can't deny this.
The Dirty Dom's probably #2.
No.
Anyway, no, I'm sorry. I didn't get to, the Young Bucks had a good match. You hated it, but it was a good match.
No, I loved actually the match. I just don't like those guys.
And it does make things very interesting.
Yes, it does. And what would it be like for Swerve and Ospreay to be EVP? Would Ospreay up and move, AEW from Jacksonville? I'm just hypothetically saying this to London.
Well,
that'd be
the
cool.
thing is, Swerve even said it on Wednesday that they're not going to make themselves EVPs. They're going to give it to the fans. It's more just taking it away from the Bucks than giving themselves EVP status.
Yeah,
well, you mentioned that in the promo that he cut.
You know what that means? Swerve and Ospreay just lost.
I'd kind of agree with that. As much as I hate it.
Yo, just stop it. Bandito is a bad essay. That dude can go with anybody. I like that.
Unfortunately, I don't think Takeshita wins, as much as I hate to say that. But maybe they will. Maybe they'll let him take the Ring of Honor title over to New Japan and stuff like that. Maybe they'll let him travel with it a little bit.
Is he in the G1 Climax? No.
I thought he was. I thought he was supposed to be in that.
Is he in that?
I think he is. Stampede will have to verify it, but I want to say I saw he was announced for it.
So if he is, give me that link. I want to watch that.
You also had, in more tag team action, you had Jet Speed coming out and challenging the Hurt Syndicate once again for their tag team titles. Takeshita is off to the G1, and he did confirm that.
Yes, go win it.
I mean, let him take that Ring of Honor belt over there. It's not like it's doing anything else right now. Just saying.
They ain't doing nothing.
Let him take it over to Japan and defend it there too. Get some different eyes on it. So
this dude's so freaking.
So apparently we are getting that match. I don't know that they've announced it for All In yet, although they may have. But Jet Speed versus the Hurt Syndicate, is that something you're looking forward to?
No. Jet Speed being they're good. They're good. Don't get it twisted. They're an up and coming tag team. Just not Hurt Syndicate. Not Hurt Syndicate good. Yeah.
I really want to see the Syndicate in FTR. I really do. I haven't seen. Anyway, I haven't seen anybody talking about it right now, but I want to see FTR in the Syndicate.
Yeah, I like. Yeah. Or give me a Don Callis family. Tag team. Give me Murder Hawks.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Cage in a while. He may be hurt.
I think he is hurt.
Because I've seen Lance Archer. I don't think I've seen Cage in a while.
I like Lance Archer.
I agree. I think they're going to end up beating the crap out of him.
All day. And they're in the business of hurting people.
Challenges. I mean, that would be good, though. But again, if Takesh is the ROH champion at that time and he ends up winning it, you get Zack Sabre Jr. versus Takeshita, IWGP title versus Ring of Honor title on AEW TV at the Forbidden Door. That would make a very compelling match.
Yo, that would be good for an all-out, maybe, pay-per-view.
The triple threat he's talking about?
Yeah. What Isaiah's talking about, that'd be a great all-out. And Christian and Nick Wayne are likely added to. Yeah. Fatal four-way. Because now I know.
I don't know that FTR is going to be involved in that right now. They're still, I think they're going up against the Outrunners on Saturday. I don't know that they're involved right now with the title. I just think it would be. I'm dreaming, Stampede. I can hope. Don't crush my dreams, please.
Yeah, stop crushing my dreams, man. I just watched him lose his what was it, IWGP? Was it the IWGP title? Was it the Neverweight title? What did he just lose? No, I just watched him lose one.
Did he not just have the Continental title?
No, he just lost a match over in Japan. I watched that
for a different title. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Speaking of titles, we had Mercedes Moné putting her title up against Mina Shirakawa, and surprise, surprise, Mercedes Moné gets the win, still undefeated on AEW television, leading into the match against Toni Storm. What'd you think of the match?
She's got to lose to Toni. At some point, the downfall needs to happen. You know, like, I get it. She's been putting on some bangers. Don't get it twisted, folks. Don't get it twisted.
Yep.
But at a certain point, she's starting to become Bill Goldberg. You get what I'm saying? Too much.
I'm never going to disrespect her and say that she's becoming Bill Goldberg.
No. I'm not talking about slow.
Moné does more wrestling moves in her sleep than Bill Goldberg has ever done in his entire life.
I'm not talking like that. I'm talking like the winning aspect. The winning streak's got.
You're talking about the win streak. I got you.
The winning streak's got to stop at a certain point. You know, and at what point does it stop? It needs to stop with Toni Storm. You know, the belt collector gimmick gets old after a while. You know, now we need to see a different gimmick. Now we need to see something different from her. I love what she does in the ring. She's 5 billion times better than Bill Goldberg, which that match is going to be horrible that weekend. But yeah, I regress on that. I'd rather watch Moné wrestle than Goldberg wrestle in any circumstances. But you know, we'll see what happens. I think she loses to Toni Storm. I think that's where the downfall starts.
The fact that you have to say that statement in 2025 it hurts my heart a little bit.
It does hurt my heart. Can you eat less than 10 days before a major match?
That's true.
Wow.
So you think she loses against Toni, then? There you go. He has the same thing as you do.
Yeah, I think the spiral starts there.
All right. Next up, we had the Fatal 4-Way for the second spot in the Gauntlet match. Anthony Bowens, AR Fox, MJF,
Brody King.
And Brody King. I mean, just what happens right after that shot that you've got there, actually a little bit after that shot where he does the sleeper outside or the chokehold outside, that face by MJF was priceless.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Great match by all four. The right person won, though. MJF deserves to be in that match. Yep. It brings more to that syndicate story. I still hate it for Brody King. He deserves more. But yeah, what'd you think?
First, yes, I agree with you. Brody King deserves a hell of a lot more, and that's why I think the international title or the TNT title is on the horizon for this man. And I swear to you, if he gets that TNT title is not going to feel like a number 5 title. It's going to feel like a number 4 title or like it's not going to feel like it's less than.
Yes, he's going to elevate the title.
Yeah. So I like Brody King, but MJF is a smarter move for the gauntlet match and stuff like that. We all know that. So, but you're right. Brody King is one hell of he's great in the ring. Fox is great in the ring. Yes, you're right. And isn't Darby coming back soon? Darby
should be.
He's got to be down the mountain by now, right?
He's been off the mountain. He's been training to come back. He may make an appearance at All In, or it may be right after All In, but he's definitely close to coming back. Also, you had one of the best moments on the show, I thought. One of the best matches on the show, Kota Ibushi, Kazuchika Okada, which gives us the reuniting of the Golden Lovers, Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega after the match. Anytime I can see Kota Ibushi on my screen, I'm good with it. And especially a match with Okada. This wasn't the best match they've ever had. It was really good, though. I enjoyed it. But I'll let you talk about it. What'd you think?
When I talk about great TV matches, this is what I talk about. One that was smooth, one that, they had a little bit of hiccups. We all know that. But you know what? This made me want to watch Okada versus Omega even more. All right. Ibushi, I love Ibushi. I was going to put Golden Shower for some reason earlier on the bottom down there. And that's why I left them out. That's all. I'm good on that. So, but, no, I
proofread everything and I would have changed it. It would have never made it on here unless I just missed it.
It was probably one of those ones that you might miss by accident. But yeah, no, I like what they're doing with this. It's making me golden levers on the horizon. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Look out for the golden. Yeah, they're going to be
the golden
tag
lovers.
team.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to be tag team royalty soon. Yeah.
Yep. And then last but not least, the Death Riders and Paige. A lot of interaction. Paige comes out, cuts a promo, calls Moxley out, and asks for a Texas death match at All In.
Yep.
So we'll start with that. Does that make you more excited, the same, or less excited for this match coming up, knowing it's going to be a Texas death match?
So this is one of those ones where I texted one of my friends because he asked me, all right, first off, is this putting it over WWE? That's what he asked me. And I was like, they didn't need hold on.
Yeah.
I was like, they didn't need this match to put them over WWE. Yeah, I was like, but this match right here, it screams AEW. 100% screams AEW. And it screams AEW to the point that this made me more excited because now we're going to get the level of violence that both Hangman and Moxley can deliver. All right. When Hangman called out the Elite and the Riders, all right, when he called out both, he said, give me the Elite, give me the Riders in a Texas death match. I was like, you know what? He's got a plan up his sleeve. You know? So don't be surprised if there's some people coming back that's going to help out Hangman and to protect AEW. And one of those guys might be Darby Allin, like you were talking about. You know, make an appearance. Another one that I was thinking, and you guys might not agree. A lot of people won't agree, which is fine. But is Jack Perry should be coming back and making an appearance to help out Hangman, though, not the Elite, to hang out Hangman. This match right here, by far, in my opinion, is going to be the match of the weekend. We all know that this match has. That's what I was saying. Will Jack Perry be there?
And that's what I put it up there because he put it up there right after you said it. So you guys had the same thought at the same time. It just took him longer to type it and send it out than it took you to say it. So,
but that's what I'm saying. You know, like I think he comes back though to help out Hangman, and I'm going to stick to that one. You know, when we do our picks and stuff, that's the one I'm sticking with. I think Jack Perry comes back and he helps out Hangman on this one.
Yeah, I definitely think it makes it more interesting. I'm more excited about it knowing that it's a Texas death match.
Yes.
The only thing that irritated me about it is the way they just kept referring to it as Texas death. Just give me Texas death. No, give me Texas death. I mean, it's a little thing, but it just got on my nerves for some reason. That's just weird the way you're saying it, which is a very odd criticism and very small criticism of it, but it just got on my nerves and I had to say something about it.
No, I get that.
It definitely makes me more excited for the match and for the show because I think it will be awesome. I don't know if Jack Perry shows up there. I don't know. I mean, it makes more sense for him to show up in the Darby Allin part of it since they were kind of locked together, once upon a time. Like maybe he's seen the error of his ways and he comes back to help Darby Allin. I know Stampede thinks that Darby Allin is where this storyline ends. So I think that makes more sense for him to come back to help somebody like Darby than it does for Paige. But that's just kind of my thought on it, how I thought the story would go.
I got a friend that, he came out and he said, listen, Daniel Bryan's still under contract with AEW, even though he's retired. Okay.
I mean, for somebody who's retired, he's sure been there a lot lately.
Exactly. But there's rumors going around, circulating, that it's either All In or in Wembley, that he comes back and he costs the Death Riders the AEW championship. I'm putting money at Wembley. He thinks that All Out. I think it's going to, be at Wembley that he, in England, that he comes back and he's like, hey, yeah, that's what I was reading. I don't know, but I think Hangman's got a lot of doubt that he can't beat Moxley anyway. But I think DB comes back and sets something up because I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done yet. I think he's got one more year left in him. I think we got one more year at DB.
How crazy would it be? And this just popped into my head, so obviously it's not a full baked plan.
Yeah.
If Daniel Bryan comes back, Bryan Danielson, sorry, I know I screwed that one up. He hadn't been around for a while. Forgive me. And I'm going to go the other way with it, Stampede. What if all of this has been staged from the beginning and he's actually behind the Death Riders?
That'd be funny.
He's been pulling the strings behind the scenes. Like this whole thing was set up by him.
That'd be cool. That'd be great.
Except it just popped into my brain. It's not like it's something I've thought about for a long time, but as you were talking about it, I thought that would be an interesting story. So
yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be cool. I like that. That would be cool. But hey, when he buckshot lariat though, man, when he hit her with that buckshot lariat, man, the whole crowd was like,
just tells me he's going to lose.
Oh yeah, the whole crowd was like, yeah, that was one of those like, was that supposed to happen? But it's AEW, so it might have been a thing. Yeah. Well,
no, I mean it's always supposed to happen. Look at the past. She's taken shots from almost every contender that Moxley's had since he started.
Yep.
So this is not like it's something new and crazy. So yeah, that's one of the I said it means he's going to lose. When the first person who doesn't take a shot at Marina Shafir, that's when you have to think, well, maybe this guy's going to win because it's different.
Yeah, maybe it's Ospreay. Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll see.
Look, I get that. I'm just saying it just popped into my head. It's just one of those things that pops into my head every now and then.
And it was a plastic bag. They really, really disrespected my man with a plastic bag. He doesn't like plastic, folks. You don't do that.
I believe that's everything, right? That's all.
It was a great show.
Yeah, 100%. I loved it. It was great. I'm glad to see 300 episodes.
Yeah.
Hope we get 300 more and then some.
Yeah.
I know Kenny Omega cut a promo talking about AEW 1000 that he wants to see one day, which granted would take like 15 years almost.
Something like
so
that, yeah.
Hopefully that happens. I don't know that I'll be alive to see it, but hopefully we get an AEW 1000 in about 15 years. So, I mean, good on them. I'm looking forward to Saturday, and make sure you guys tune in next Thursday night to see our predictions for All In with some very special guests. So that does bring us to our Twitter post of the week. Before I do that, I will put the last one up from Stampede. He thinks Ospreay loses and a year would coincide with him being eligible to go back for the world title at Wembley, which does make sense. So I guess that would fit into that timeline as well. So he could go to Wembley and try and defend for the title there or fight for the title at there. So
if he loses here, he needs to go back to New Japan and do like a little storyline of his redemption back to AEW. He goes back to where he found himself just to rise again in AEW. That'd be dope.
All right. I will let you so this is your Twitter post of the week. I will let you talk about it because I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it, to be completely honest. Take it away.
All right. So we've seen Puckonomics, we've seen Kurtonomics, and we've seen Big Show, well, Bigonomics. We all know Thugonomics. So who did it better, folks? My opinion, Kurt Angle is always going to be my favorite. One that came out and tried to punk, Cena out in his own little gimmick. I always thought that was best. I mean, look what he's wearing. That's a Brian Leftwich jersey, isn't it? Isn't that a Leftwich jersey right there?
I think so. I'm not as up on my Jacksonville Jaguars history as I probably should be.
I mean, Big Show looked like he was, trying to be part of LA Kings with the bandana and stuff. I mean, look, Kurt Angle looks like you can't beat the Thugonomics. No, you're right. But if we're gonna say who did it better, out of all of them, I put the Thug. I just put it up there. I'm going to go with Kurt because that dude came out and he had his hat sideways. He came out like this, sideways with it, all up in it. He's like, type of deal. He didn't have to go Malibu with it. He just straight up went.
I mean, he kind of did though.
No. He went worse with it. He went Roach from Next Friday. Like that's where he went with that. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I like Kurt so much.
So my answer to this will be the same answer I give when I'm given this choice most of the time, and it's Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle did it.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't even remember the Big Show doing this, so if that tells you anything, he would be last on the list for me. I know Stampede has him last for a lot of reasons. So I don't even remember the Big Show doing it, so I'm going to put Big Show fourth. I would put Punk third. I am going to put Cena second just because I like Kurt Angle more, and I'm going to put Kurt Angle first.
Yo, Kurt Angle doing that stuff was hilarious.
And that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, so when you think about it just as a character, obviously John Cena did it better because he was the original. But Punk was, or not Punk, but Kurt was the one that was probably the most entertaining out of all of them, even more than John Cena. And I'm a huge John Cena fan, but to me, Kurt's head and shoulders above them all.
Yeah, Kurt did it great. I love him. Love it.
So, which does lead us to our run-in matchmaker. Again, this one provided by Sped. It is the first one for the month of July. Who you got, brother?
Well, this one's different because tomorrow is 4th of July, and all four of these guys got something in common. They all were ex-military personnel. I did it like this. A lot of people don't know Lance Archer was in the Marines. A lot of people know that Montez Ford was in the Marines. A lot of people don't know Rich Swann was in the Army, and I don't know where Jax Dane came out of. I think it was the Army as well, but he was also in. And Jax, for people who don't know him, he passed away a few years ago. In his 40s, he was in part of the NWA in the 2010 to 2015 timeframes. NWA champion, did really well. He was a force. He was up and coming. Things happened. You know, life got taken, stuff like that. R.I.P. to this man. But all that said and done, here's your hypothetical four-way. We got Lance Archer, we got Montez Ford, we got Rich Swann, and we got Jax Dane. My opinion, this is me. I like Lance Archer in this match. He's a big man. He can go with a lot of people. He's quick. He knows how to handle the high flyers. We've seen it and everything. He's going to have the Don Callis family behind him. I'm not 100% sure on Jax. RIP again to him. You're taking the pen on this one because I'm not 100% familiar with your game. I had to find someone that wasn't Matt Riddle for who's been vocal about being a veteran and stuff like that. Matt Riddle has been vocal about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you didn't put Bobby Lashley in there.
I was gonna, but that means I have two AEW guys. So I was trying to mix it up. Someone outside of AEW. I know. I was gonna do that, and then it became obvious that it would have been Bobby Lashley for my pick. That dude's just too much of a freak, you know. But this is Lance Archer for me. Montez is gonna make it interesting. All right, Swann's gonna make it interesting. They're gonna have that cruiserweight style going, and those two are gonna be flying everywhere. But Archer's gonna be the ground game, and that's how it's gonna work. You know, Archer takes out Jax. He put everybody does a finisher on Dane. Sorry, and you know we see Archer being an ultimate opportunist with the Callis family and win this match, in my opinion.
I'll go real quick just because I think it's pretty clear to me. It's going to be Lance Archer. I'm going to go with the Murder Hawk. I think he just overpowers everybody. He takes them out. Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. Tez will go for his big flash, and Lance Archer will just put his foot up and break him in two.
Yeah.
I think Rich Swann takes the pin. I actually thought that's probably why you put him in there, was to take the pin, because I knew you like to do that with one of these people.
Yeah.
Which I thought would have been Rich Swann.
I thought
nothing against Rich Swann, but but I do think Lance Archer does get the win here over the rest of them. So.
Yep, I agree with that.
Which does lead us into our final word, which I will be taking. So say what you need to say, and then we'll go on from there, sir.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. It's episode 39. We're having a fun time. We're on the Push to Partner on Twitch. So if you guys want to join us, 8:30 exclusively right here on Twitch. We do a behind-the-scenes access, but we don't just talk about wrestling. We talk about everything. I mean, we really did have a good conversation the last 5-10 minutes before the show started. And
main conversation about Batman. So
yeah. Oh, Batman. But yeah, this Saturday, we're gonna be doing the run-in rewind here on Twitch, and then again on Kick. We're trying to get TikTok and Facebook up and running. So once we get that up and running, we'll let you guys know.
Episode's going to be on the run and rewind this week.
Do what?
You know what episode we're doing on the run and rewind?
We're going to go in order. So last week we did episode 1. This week we're going to do episode 2. It actually worked out pretty well for that, and people were asking for it on Saturday from Twitch. Can you run episode 2 on that? So I'm going to run episode 2.
So we're just going to go in order all the way, or just this happens to be going in order?
Okay. This week it's just because everybody asked on Saturday, which was weird. We had 18 people watching a rewind on Saturday, which was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good number for a rewind on Twitch. Thank you guys.
Welcome everybody to our production meeting.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no. There's good things coming once we hit partner. We're also trying to get to TwitchCon, so help us get there. Keep following, keep showing up. I know we stay between looks like 17 and 18 live viewers right now from Twitch, so help us keep growing like that, and let's get to 30, 40 by August, September. Live views, complete. Thank you guys for tuning in as well.
All right, which brings me to the final word with Big Mike, and this will kind of tie into the QR code you guys see up there. Obviously, today is July 3rd. Tomorrow we celebrate July 4th, our Independence Day here in America. For everybody watching here in America, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has served in our military, who has given us the chance to have this freedom to celebrate July 4th however you want to, whether you're going to be having a cookout with friends and family, whether you're going to be, I know there's a lot of people that are going to be protesting for whatever they want to protest for. That's perfectly fine. That's your right to do it, which is what our soldiers fought for. So thank you for everybody who served in our military, who has given us the chance to celebrate July 4th any way we see fit. So again, we tell you guys every week, make sure you guys are using those QR codes up top, the vet ticks and the first ticks for veterans and first responders. No way to celebrate more for 4th of July than to give our veterans something, at a discount or for free, and definitely go to vet ticks, use your military ID, get those reduced price tickets any way that you can. We really appreciate all your service. Thank you guys so much. And thank you guys in the audience for tuning in, whether you served or not. Thank you for tuning in to us every week. As he said, we appreciate you guys watching us, pushing us to partner here on YouTube as well. We're over 200 subscribers on YouTube. That doesn't happen without every single one of you guys. So thank you. And ladies, I can't forget the ladies we have watching as well. So thank you to every single one of you. We hope you continue this journey with us, and couldn't think of doing it with a better partner in USPED. Thank you specifically for your service. I know you served as well. So thank you, brother. To TC, to all the other veterans that I watch us. I apologize. I don't know the rest of you that are veterans or not. I know TC was as well. So thank you to you guys and anybody else. And that's what I'll end with. Just a huge thank you from us here at the Run-In to you guys, and have a great night.